We are apparently broadcasting, Ben. This is let me go and see if actually it is doing anything like via. This could be streaming anywhere. I think it's going to YouTube. It might be going. Oh no, we are. It's come up. Awdry Corner test on. This will be just confusing now because I've clicked the. I tell you what, Ben, you just speak.
Yeah. Okay.
We've already got somebody said hello. Hello, the ballast man said hello. Right, hold on, Ben. You just keep speaking.
Okay.
And I just want to hear what it sounds like.
We're on about just random stuff, I suppose.
Hold on, Ben. You just keep speaking.
Okay.
And I just want to hear what it sounds like.
We're on about just random stuff.
Oh, that sounds fine. That sounds absolutely fine. Okay,
Is there like a delay lag, or did you scroll back then, Tom?
No, there is a delay lag. There is a delay. So hello, viewers. If there's anybody there, we know there's one person watching at least, so that's good. This is just a little test to see if it would work. For anyone that's interested, Ben and I are discussing the length of the Mid-Sodor Railway. Because, as I put on Twitter the other day, we found out. I say it we. I was on a chat with Mr. Luke Ryan, and sorry, I'm trying to multitask at the moment. I'm trying to do several things at once. There you go. I decided to measure how long the Skarloey Railway was, because we've seen that we know that the Tallaglyn is 7 1/4, and I'd always presumed that the Skarloey was something like 11, 12. Well, no, it's about 22 miles apparently. So as Ben had a little look into it, the Skarloey, Mid-Sodor, stated by Awdry in the Island of Sodor book to be 25. Is it, Ben?
Yeah, it says 25 because he gives times. He mentions 3 different trains, and he gives rough times of how long it took to go from one end to the other.
Yeah.
I think the fastest was 1 1/4, or 1.5 hours is another one, and 2.5 or 2 3/4 hours for the one of the goods trains, which was nicknamed the horse and cart because it was that slow.
So I've just had a measure with a good old bit of string and my 1992 map, and it's come to 29 miles, which actually is not that far out, really.
No, you can imagine there's a few miles difference. You can imagine you can get rid of a few miles there.
Yeah. So I mean, you could, in theory, you could knock 5 miles off the Skarloey. You can knock 5 miles off. 22 just seems too long.
Now, funny we were mentioning about this, Tom, actually. Now, this just brings up, because I did some of the timetabling for your Farquhar branch, and I measured that at 17 miles. But it's referenced, I think, in iOS as well a couple of times, 14 miles, because it mentions about Toby's water tank and about taking water at Elsbridge, so that he can happily do the route. So yeah, you could, as I say, you could probably lose the odd few mile here and there to get to how, the lengths he was thinking about.
Yeah. No, well, that makes sort of sense.
Which reminds me, I need to have another go at your timetable as well.
You're just saying that to spur me on to get on with doing more Farquhar stuff, aren't you?
Yeah.
I do it. Yeah, I do. Yeah. Well, Farquhar's definitely happening. It's just I can't do anything until the Pico medium points come out.
No, correct.
So, and once the sheds arrive from Bob, then I can sort of. Sorry, I'm still trying to do stuff here. trying to alter.
Tom's multitasking, everybody.
Not very good at it either. There we are. We are live. Yeah, I know that.
Scientifically proven that no one can multitask, not even women.
Why have you called yourself BG? Is it a lifelong ambition?
Dodgy accent. No, it's what I call my engine, isn't it?
Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't think that. Yes. I'm just trying. I tell you what, I'm trying to do. I'm trying to just make sure that it's covered. That this is not that any of us aim to swear, but I don't want there to be swearing. But I'm wanting to try and cover myself on the whole thing about data thingy, YouTube thing, my bob. And I don't know where to go and do it.
If there's any kids watching, stop watching.
Yeah, there we go. Edit. Oh, I've done that. Okay. This will be the most boring episode.
Stay tuned. We're here all weekend, folks.
We're going to do a marathon. We're going to start with the 3 railway engines and go all the way through to book 42.
We'll even try and do some accents amongst all that as well.
Yeah. So I'm just having this was the last map that came out, $2.99 when it came out, and we both know it costs more than $2.99, Ben.
Yes, we do. Yeah. I was saying that I got mine for $2.99 because mine came from Bob in Winford.
So you got it when it was still being published?
Yeah, I would have done. Yeah. I remember going down on holiday to visit my dad. I'd be around about 10, 11 at the time when I went down there. It was my first year I ever went to Cornwall, where he was living, and he took us to Bodmin and Wentford. And the engine was Swiftsure, which was an austerity saddle tank. And never thought years later I'd fire it at East Lancs.
Is this the one that went down to the went down on the metro link?
No, it was either Swiftsure or Sapper. It was one of them.
Oh, it's Sapper I'm thinking of. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't think so. No, you might be right, actually. I'd have to double check. I'd have to ask Gary because he was driver that night. Johnny would know. He was fine. I think Swiftsure now is at mid-Norfolk. I think I've seen it at. It's over there. So, cracking engine. So was Sapper, actually.
I'm just going to put a link to our ramblings on Twitter.
Oh, God.
Yeah, why not? You got to live a little, Ben. This is the start of something not so big.
The word Twitter.
Hold on, I need to find go to your channel. Yes. There we are. We're live. It's very exciting.
Yeah, for our sins.
We've got 2 likes. Hey. Bless you. Thank you. Right, I'm tweeting it, folks.
Someone's got to.
Yeah, we're on our own here. I've just had some notifications on Twitter. Our friend Steve, Sleeper Agent. Steve's worked out. He's done it in sections, adding it up, and he's come to 28.36 miles. So he's pretty close to you.
Yeah. Well, my mental arithmetic's awful, so I thought 29 and a half was about right. So if he's done it in sections, he'll probably have done it quite well as well. I know he'll have been accurate. So yeah.
In fairness, he as he's pointed out, I'd never noticed this. The the route of the Mid Sodor into Peel Godred is different on the 1971 map than it is on the. I'd never noticed that on our maps. The Mid Sodor goes to the south of Peel Godred, whereas actually I do prefer the route in the 1972 one. It goes directly through Peel Godred.
It does say in iOS that the station changed site.
Well, I'll tell you what, it goes through. It goes right through and essentially went over the tunnel. That's a weird thing. I'll send this to you, Ben, privately. But I'd never noticed that. Hold on.
All my hands up, you're right. But then, to be fair, I've never really, even though I've got a copy, I've never really looked at it. I've always looked at the 92 map.
Well, I suppose it's the more accurate because it's pretty much following from iOS. But I like the topography of the 1971 map.
Yeah.
There you go. I've sent you that. But I don't know if you can see that we've had a comment from Lucas Nolan who says, Tom, what would you say a good price is to pay for the iOS would be? I'll be honest, I wouldn't say it's worth £200. £12.95 is what it was when it came out, but both myself and Ben both paid more. You paid 150, didn't you, Ben, for yours?
Yeah. Mine was coming from Canada, and that was 2000 when I bought mine, year 2000. But yeah, that's how much I. But the guy who got it, who I went through, which was an antique bookshop, no longer there in Ulverston. He had already put his little bit of commission on, so I was happy to pay that in here. And then when I've heard other people paying just as much, if not a bit more, I kind of feel I don't feel so bad now. But there was one on eBay at over 300 on it. It's definitely not worth 300.
No, one just sold on eBay for £200.
Yeah.
Mine cost me £96, which I thought was a lot then, and that was 2008. Mine's not a signed one. Yours is signed. As we joked about this, and from what I know from a chap who volunteers at the Taliclin, most of them were signed by Awdry. So I think mine might be more valuable because it wasn't signed by him. But
quite ironic, that, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it is. So mine was 96. I mean, I still staggers me. Yours was 150 in 1997.
No, I bought mine 2000.
Oh, sorry, 2000. It's still.
I was 17 when I bought mine. I was at college at the time.
Yeah. We've had some more comments. It's sad that the seeming only USA copy of iOS is in a university library. There's possibly some more going around. Two-Faced Tart Productions. Just get a copy of the PDF and print it and staple it. That's a very wise comment. That, yes.
It is, to save paper, do all the odd pages first, then turn over and do the evens. Yeah. That's if you printed, won't print both sides.
Double side. Yeah. I mean, the PDF I find useful because, hey, Mike's in the house.
PDF's good for when you're on the laptop computer, you just click it, you don't have to keep going around for your hard copy. Saves getting fingerprints on your hard copy. Yeah?
We might have a guest.
says I who's left mine in the attic.
Hold on a minute. Sorry. I'm just sending an invite to someone. Copy. This person may appear, they may not. There is no pressure. But but anyway, yeah. It's a very useful book. I personally, it's difficult to say. If I didn't have it, I might pay 200 for it, but
Don't go over 200. Definitely don't go over 200.
no. What do you think of the tie-in book for the Royal Engine having an RWS inspired cover? In fairness, it was Mike that showed me that today. I think it looks nice, but I'm not remotely interested. I do think it's a nice throwback, but I'm not particularly interested. Because for me, the TV series isn't going to come anywhere. Well, I say that because, oh, hello. Not who I was expecting. Hey!
Hello.
No, I just said, hold on, what is it? It's a line from Star Wars by Palpatine. A surprise, but a welcome one. There we go. No, because I've just sent the invite to somebody else who we know. And I thought...
Yeah, because I was watching the stream when you said that, so I just checked the chat.
In fairness, I will probably watch it because I know who's written it.
Yeah.
But my interest in TV is for me. It's just it's a different world now from.
It always has been.
It has. Actually, that first podcast we did with Ryan, I remember you saying it. You said TV was always a different beast from day one.
Yeah, with all the location changes, minor, but different enough.
Would you be modelling, Luke?
I am.
I can tell.
That's why I keep looking down, and that's why I've got a sharp thing.
No, he just likes, he's just a madman with an eye.
Anyone want some coffee stirrers? I've got approximately approximately 1,000.
I would these be for the wall of a certain
carriage shed? Yes.
Certain carriage shed. Oh, marvelous. You might have seen I shared that picture with you before, actually, because Ian Drummond shared it in the Taliclin group, but it's on the front cover of his book.
Yeah, it's lovely. I need to get that book. I've been waiting for it.
I tell you what, you would like it because
I keep seeing it and I keep thinking
the back of it has an excellent reference thing about, here we are, passenger stock. And it
goes, wonderful. Is there much of original 9 and 10 in there?
There is pictures of 9 and 10. Hold on.
Wonderful.
Hold on, I'll show you in a minute. Carriage 8.
It's an open there.
Can you see that?
Oh, wonderful.
That's its original form, isn't it?
That's 10, isn't it? Yeah, that's before the doors were put on, I think.
A carriage number 10 in its original form at Towing Wharf in July 1954.
Two-Faced Tart, Railway Adventure. Anyone who's not read Railway Adventure, read it.
In fairness, I didn't read it. I got the audio book.
Or audio book. Yeah.
Oh, hello. We've got somebody else joining us now. Hello. Who could this be? Dun, 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 dun. Oh, this is awkward.
Batman's big hook.
Should we call him Mr. X? Good evening, Mr. Whitehouse. Hello.
How are you doing, Mike?
I'm all right. I just got a bit of a shock there, so.
Well, that was like one of those things, like, the old kids' TV shows where they'd be like this, and then they go, "Oh, hello."
Oh, great. I didn't think Modeller's Corner was starting this early. I thought it was tomorrow night.
Why is someone else hosting?
I am modelling.
Well, I'm doing some modelling.
Oh, what is that, Mike?
It's just a Ginty chassis, that's all. Shouldn't show that really, but
Two-Faced Tart Productions. I've already read Railway Adventure. Chronicles of Pendray Sidings.
Yeah, if you can get your hands on it, that's brilliant as well.
Yeah, you know the one signed by John Bate went for 150 quid.
Oh, bloody hell.
Language, Luke. It's always you. It's always you.
I blame my grandmother.
Naughty Luke.
What is she in the room?
No, she's just had a very bad influence on me regarding swearing.
But yeah, it sold for £150. But mine was about 25 quid.
I noticed the panels off Coach 12. One of them was over 200 quid.
Yeah, I was looking at those when they were selling. I was like, "Oh, I might get one of those," and then it was like, "Okay, no, never mind."
To be honest, Luke, I was thinking the same thing. Like, no.
We burnt one of them.
I bet you're wishing you had
on the bonfire. It was
Vandals.
11, Coach 11, maybe. I don't know. I can't remember which one. No, 13, I think, because that one had just started rotting away. And it was just in the wood pile for the bonfire. So I think we put it on top. So it was just like its final hurrah on the top of the bonfire.
Is this number 12?
Or number 13.
13.
8 and 11 are the ones that are still in service. And yes, Alex. Well, actually, no, Mike.
Yeah, Mike's part. Mike, you're.
Yeah, Northern Ireland, isn't
Northern Ireland. So you started.
Yeah, I was just trying to remember then. Sorry.
Somebody had asked you all from the United Kingdom.
Yes.
Well, Northern Ireland is part of the United Kingdom, so.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to just say it because I was just kind of like, oh no, are you Northern or Republic?
And now it's just got very awkward.
How come you sound like you're from the north? Lots of planets of the north.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorites.
There's Luke. There's a whole section on good stock as well.
Oh, I'll have to get that book then.
I'm just having a look if there's any. Oh, there's a picture of a van there where it's just been used as a van body. Oh, a nice picture of one of the Guerno wagons that lost its way and went into the deep ravine.
Yeah,
it's like a recreated scene.
It is. Well, it's on the correct railway, isn't it? Salicklin. Luke showed me that actually because Luke and I went up the line together. Luke was one of your days off, wasn't it, when we met up at?
It was, yeah, because I was displaying my Tidmouth layout at the.
I remember
what day you managed to get Reverend Awdry's Mark II Toby on it.
It was a surprise.
You didn't even ask for it. Steve brought that down for you, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He just kind of walked down with a little box and just went, "Here you go." And I opened it, and Toby was in there. I was like, "Oh my god!"
Around Luke's face.
I actually did remember talking. I was talking to Steve the other week. There, actually, he is a really nice bloke. Actually,
he's lovely.
Yeah,
and he says he wants to help me out with doing my replicas and that. There, so I was like,
"Oh, he will. He definitely will."
Yeah, he's a very nice chap. Luke, I don't know if you heard before. This discussion happened off camera between me and Ben, and we've mentioned it. So Ryan had mentioned how long. He said if the Scarlo is 22 miles. Mike, you probably saw my tweet about this. Luke and I were on a chat, and I was like, right, I got the string out, and I got the map out, and I measured it, and I went, it's a bit longer than we thought. And you were like, what, 15, 16? I went, 22 miles. And Luke's first response was, I don't like that.
No.
Well, incidentally, Ryan had said, he said, goodness knows how long the mid-Sodor is. And I hadn't realised this. Ben says that iOS says 25 miles.
For the mid-Sodor?
Mid-Sodor.
Yeah.
According to this, I did the measuring. Maths isn't my thing. Ben did the mathematics side. Ben's got it to work out at 29.5. So it's only...
So the map's out. I'd say the map's out because if he's written it down as 25.
I'd say on that principle, actually, Sleeper Agents measured his 1971 and it's 28 point something. I reckon if you say maps out, knock 5 off for the mid-Sodor, knock 5 off for the Scarloey.
That's still 17 miles.
That's pushing it, but I prefer it over 22.
But to be fair, Luke, right? If you look at the length of the SR and then look at the length of Farquhar branch, it's longer.
Yeah.
And it says in iOS 14 miles for Farquhar.
That's including the tramway, isn't it? I'm pretty sure.
It hints that it's including the tramway, yeah.
Because I'm pretty
because
sure
it's on about Toby and on about Toby's water capacity.
Yeah.
See, I think I did like a map of the tramways to try and work out like certain what the.
I'm sure it said the tramway's 5 miles. I've read that somewhere. I'm sure it says the tramway's like 5 miles, wind, because it's so windy.
Mile and a half by a crow flies.
That was
it.
it.
Here, actually. I'll see if I can get this.
Hang on, I've got iOS up.
I think it's in iOS where it says it's 5 miles for the tramway.
I've got iOS up actually, Luke.
Yeah, because I was talking to Nimo and Mass, who we both volunteer on the TR as well, and we were both saying 22 miles is like, for the locos that are on the Skarloey, it's a bit much, and especially the way they read right saying, no, they only have one water stop.
Yeah.
It seems a bit much for my liking.
I mean, I did say to Ben, it does sort of make you think. Awdry writes about how Skarloey Station has, you have an engine shed, and and it made me think, well, okay, maybe then that's more for, it sort of goes with the idea that it's longer. I still struggle.
Oh, I do think it is longer. It is definitely longer than the Teleflin.
But I think 20. Also, I somebody on YouTube, not YouTube, eBay is selling a 1957 map. Timetable of the TR, and they've actually got the times on there. And I was like, I'll use that for the basis of my layout. And I was like, hold on, that's no good if we're going off 22 miles.
You'll want to add a bit more.
And then, it's somebody asked on Twitter, they said, how long would it take? I was like, and we discussed this, Ben, last night, an hour and a half.
Yeah. Well, he has, in iOS, he's got on the mid-Sodor, the boat train takes an hour and a quarter. And one of the other trains takes an hour and a half to do the 25 miles, which must be pushing well out. Quarry Tram Road. Quarries are 1.5 miles from Farquhar, some 250 feet higher, and the tram road climbs on a serpentine course of some 5.5 miles with a ruling gradient of 1 in 60.
Yeah, there we are. 5.5 miles for the Farquhar tramway then.
But there's no way Thomas's branch is only 9 miles long.
I've just got the map here now. My sketch here up now. So I'm just trying to see if it'll show up here.
I'm just going to grab myself a drink. I will be back.
Okay. Let me know if you can see this.
If Alex Greener wants model building, tune into Mike's stream tomorrow for Modeller's Corner.
Yeah, we might have some new guests in tomorrow night. I can't say who it is though, but you would have seen them before.
What time's that on, Mike?
We start at 7:00, but we have like a 6:30 prep time. So we like to make sure everybody's all in, get themselves sorted out, and get ourselves drinks and so forth. So I have to get the place sorted out again because I had to do a lot of had to film something for somebody. I had a green screen up, so I have to put that down again.
Fancy.
The whole, I know it's like a 40-foot length of green cloth just to covers the whole room. I'm like, I need a bigger space to this. That's hence why I'm trying to see if I get a good location to film Brass Engines in, because I just don't have the space to film it in.
Yeah.
Before both gentlemen, Mike and Luke, joined the chat, somebody was asking about how much should they pay for this book.
Oh,
again, I pay what you want.
Well, and Mike might not want to share, but let's just say Mike paid a lot. Well, Mike didn't pay a lot, but Mike's book cost a lot of money.
Yeah, and it was a graduation present from. Well, let's just say I paid half of it, and my parents paid the other half because it was a graduation present. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Literally, we got the book literally as I was about to start working on the show, actually. So
Perfect resource.
I thought, like, if I'm going to work on the show, I might as well have the right material.
You should have claimed it on expenses, Mike. You should have said, well, I need this book. To be honest, they sort of own the book anyway, so
yeah,
in a roundabout sort of weird way. But yeah, it's interesting. I did a back search. I found you do you can search eBay for last sold items, and I saw the one that you, Luke, missed out on, the £200.
Yeah, checked a day after it had finished on eBay, and I'm kicking myself for it still.
Saying that, whoever won it, you don't know, might have put 300 as their top bid, so you could have
exactly. I feel like 200.
I think the reason why mine was more expensive was because it was signed by both Reverend Awdry and George Awdry. So
this one on eBay it went for 200, and it was a double signed one.
Mine's the double signed one as well.
Yeah, I feel like it depends where you get it from. If you get it from I know Oxfam had one, and it went for 400. I feel like Aid Books and Oxfam and kind of like charities or specialist kind of places will have it at the higher price, whereas eBay, a double signed one will go for kind of like 100, 200, depending on who's bidding.
Mine was an Aid Books one, and that was 2008, and that was 96. Now you see, Alex says, at least you lot can find the copy. Us Americans basically got none of the books besides the original 26. Ben's copy was not from the UK.
No, it came from Canada. But granted, the family had actually emigrated out there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was a bit of a backstory to it, which I found out.
The copies do exist over there, though.
Yeah. Tom, I'm just going to send you over the sketch here. You might be able to share screen it.
Yeah, share screen function, isn't there? I'll have a...
So this is... Yeah. This is my sketch here, and I'm using this as reference for my Brass Engines film.
Right, let me just... Now,
I've got...
you're used to this software. Should I just click on... How?
The thing is you go onto share screen, and then you choose it'll say which windows do you want to choose. So make sure you choose whichever.
Right. If I'm clicking on your message now, and if I click the picture, there you are. It's blown it up nicely. So I will now click share screen,
and then choose the tab.
Yeah, it'll say choose which separate windows and that there. Just go through the list.
I have to. Apparently, I've got to say. Facebook.
Okay, so.
Is that working?
It's just loading now. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, so that's.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, so that's the sketch I did of the tramway. I think I did this 2 years ago. Actually, when I started off doing Brass Engines, so this was using the iOS as a reference.
Yeah.
So this is kind of what my idea is as to what way the tramway looks like, and I was also using one of the maps as well.
So is that is the quarry like the 1.5 miles and the actual track length 5.5 miles there?
I'd say so. Yeah. Because again, this is only just done using the map, the iOS, and whatever photo railway series references I can get.
It looks the part. It looks right.
Yeah. So I now have to try and model this.
Was it a case of using the is it the map from the surprise packet? Because that has the quarry in quite good detail.
Yeah, I think it was that one that I used.
What's
I used that one, and I just... What's up?
The little branch off at the bottom. Is that for the brewery?
Yes.
Oh, that's the
Runaway guidance.
Oh, Runaway, yes.
Oh, of course.
I think it's a brewery then.
brewery has their own sidings.
All right. It needs to get
I'd
needs,
say it
needs to
would
get
have.
away.
Looking at
Transportation around the island.
What was that? Sorry, Ben.
I said looking at the Burton upon Trent in an article last week, and it was amazing, sort of like quite how big their complexes were for like Bass, Worthington, and one or two of the others, and quite likely they've won a siding of their own rather than having to pick up stuff from the goods shed at Farquhar.
I was going to say, if I click stop, does that stop sharing it? Because I've got something that I might have shown you this, Mike. This is scanned from the where is it? I can find it. This was scanned. There it is. Scanned from the Railway Modeller article, which had Farquhar Mark 1 in it.
Oh yeah.
And and I'm going to get this framed and have it on the wall. It's the map of the northwestern region, Knapford and Farquhar branch. Let me just, I'll just make this a bit bigger, and then I'll go like this. Steve Yard, share screen, phone tab. Oh, application window. Sorry, I'm still getting used to your entire screen. Can't do my won't let me do my sort of like just my background screen. It wants to choose.
Isn't that ones where you can actually select separate files, like separate windows? Like if you have a different windows, it'll give you that option.
Can you not open it in like an image viewer, Tom?
I'll tell you what. Actually, I know what I think I can do. If I just drag it over to Chrome, it'll open it in Chrome, even though it'll just be a.
Oh yeah, and just share it from there. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Right, this should. Oh, sorry about this, people.
All right, take your time. So,
Put this across. Right, let's do this.
Two Face Star Productions, Mike. You look like you've been in the garden. You look kind of sunburnt. Yes, I actually am a bit. I was out working on the garden railway, getting it tidied up and so forth.
It has been very warm.
Yeah, it has definitely. Yeah, I got a wee bit under the sun there, and that's what happens when you try to tidy up an overgrown railway. Yes, I remember that map. Yeah.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Scan came out really, really well.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised how well it did.
The other one that I scanned was the map of Sodor from the early article on the Knapford and Tidmouth line, which you and your friends at your club are recreating, Mike.
Yeah, as far as as just before the lockdown happened, we got as far as getting all the ballast sorted out from Knapford's section. We got the quarry. We got the small quarry done, like all ballast out there. Got Knapford's done. Then we just started getting the line up to where the tunnel between Tidmouth and Knapford, got that ballasted. So I was at the moment before the lockdown happened. I was busy rewiring certain points and so forth because we had a where the tunnel is. That there's just a big gap. Just because we just built these large boards, and then because that was only serving one track, I thought it's a bit of a waste of a board. So I thought, well, why don't we make this our main control station? Have like a big diagram of the whole layout, and I could just have all the switches and all on a big control panel. We have our controller, just have a big map of the whole layout so we know where everything is. So that's what I did. I just painted like a large white square on the board, and then just did a rough sketch of the layout, which the guys thought it was like a professional job or professional thing I did, and I just was like, no, this is only just a rough version of it. But if you want it there, we might as well keep it. So yeah, that's what's busy doing.
There's something on this map that Awdry changes, which I noticed when I was doing my Farquhar research. Mike might know what it is. There's something named on there which he changes.
Is it the river?
It is. Kind
Yeah,
Beck.
it says it's meant to be the River Els, but it says it's called the Kind Beck.
Well, no.
Huh.
The River Els is the one that's coming down off to the right. The Kind Beck gets changed to the Callan River, I think.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Hold on, I will check.
Yeah, it does say RL's just to the left of Elsbridge there, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
I'd only just noticed that as well, to be honest, mate.
The Kind Beck gets renamed to River Callan.
Okay.
That's probably from when he finished out mapping the whole area a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got so many of these little things to make, just little bits of wood with a spike on the end for the side of the carriage shed. This is the old one. Well, it's the old one. It's fine. This is the old one, which was done using plasticard, and I'm using those coffee stirrers from before.
Yeah, I'm using them as well for my carriage.
That's why I've done it, Mike.
I need to order another one. I've actually run out of them, and I need them for the good shed.
I got for like a $5 on Prime shipping. It took like a couple of days to arrive off Amazon.
You got them on Prime? I got. Oh man!
Approximately 1,000.
You got more than I only got 100.
Whoever the seller was, I bet they thought to themselves, that boy's got a serious coffee addiction.
Well, here, I might as well show this here. Let me see. In fact, I will show you quite a few here. So, folks at home, you're going to see some previews of the models that are going to feature in Branchline engines. So,
well, there you go. Just to quickly, just while Mike's getting that, Luke, there's a question you might want to answer.
Is it from Tidmouth Yard?
From our friend Tidmouth Yard, yes. Obscure RWS question: is the 4th SR Open coach seen in one of the surprise packets canon?
It is only ever seen in the surprise packet and is never mentioned in any of the writings by the Reverend at all.
With Elsie. Elsie's mentioned in the surprise packet as well.
It's very true, but I take Elsie to be...
Elsie's mentioned
also,
in iOS as well, is it?
Yeah, Elsie's in iOS, and also he made a model of her.
Between the lines.
He made a model of her.
Yeah.
Whereas the 4th Open coach has only ever been seen in that illustration, and I think it was purely because the little puzzle included 4 coaches. And I do think it probably does stem from the Talaflin has 4 open coaches, but the Scarlo's only ever had 3, so it's probably just getting things a bit muddled.
Yeah. Right, so I've got these models up now here. So first of all, here this is one of the few models that I've been making, which will appear in my licenses. So this is one of the buildings that will feature in Elsbridge. This is one of Elsbridge's station buildings.
Oh, lovely!
So this was based off the
which kit was it again?
No, this is 3D printed. I designed this.
Yeah, no, it's because I remember we had a conversation ages ago where we were discussing what kit.
Yeah, because
for it.
Yeah, and I suggested it might have been the Dapple booking office.
That's right. Yeah. So I was wondering if you'd slightly based it off that or not.
No, in fact, I based it off the one seen in Tramway Engines. Actually,
is it the one from Woolly Bear?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because again, yeah, that one there.
How similar is it to the ones in Thomas's Christmas party?
I think
that's kind of where I roughly got, like, in terms of like getting the windows and door and all referenced as well.
Yeah, so it's the ones in Christmas party are definitely based on the tramway illustrations.
And it's what he references in iOS, isn't it? It's what he references.
Yeah, it's referencing iOS. It says that those versions there are actually the current stages of what Elsbridge looks like. So that's one of 2 that needs to be made, and I've also still got to make up the canopies and so forth. So
are you going to 3D print those, Mike?
Oh, they're already 3D printed there. Just need to get them glued on and get them painted. So that's one of the buildings for Elsbridge. No, this one was a monster. This one I actually I think I must have used up nearly one reel of filament in the printer. So this was a monster to build, let alone to stick it together. This is the row of houses that's going to appear behind the far.
They look great.
They're not finished yet. Though. They only put the drain pipes and all on. So that's
Still.
them.
Lovely.
That is
Yeah.
amazing.
I love the different doors and things.
Yeah, again, I was all just using like I had to look at the books again to try and see like what color were the windows, what color were the doors. It's like were they green or were they white or were they maroon? I was like, I don't know, crimson. So I had to I had to go through all my paints to see like do I actually have this color? Because I couldn't order anything during the lockdown, so I thought see what there is.
It's funny actually. My favourite interpretation of the houses are, I think, actually the first time we see them in Branchline when Thomas is heading towards Station Master's house. Because I often find that some of the Spong ones look a bit bland.
Yeah, because the thing is, what I actually want to do is to I want to make them look like they're like freshly made, like because when you look in branch lines, everything around Farquhar looks brand new. It's like this is taken when the branch line is literally just has its upgrade from 10 Gauge and Thomas again. And so, and when you look at the houses in branch line in the background, they look fresh and brand new and clean. So I thought, might as well do the same with these here as well. So that's those there, and also I'm in the process of making the corner shop that you also see in
Lovely,
the film.
yeah.
Film. So that's going to be there. Now, I made a bit of a mistake with this, so I don't know whether I might fix this or not. In fact, maybe I should actually fix this tomorrow. Is that I actually made the sidewalls too small. They actually should be a bit taller. So they're actually in line with that there, when really that should be a bit more higher up. Because if you look at the books, it's actually more.
It's got another floor.
I noticed one of the buildings was taller. I hadn't realised it's the corner shop that's the taller one.
Yeah, it was the corner shop. So I'll need to get that. I'll need to get that done before I, put the roof on. So,
yeah.
Have I got anything else here to show? Not at the moment. No, everything else is all in the workshop there. However, I will show this here. This is nothing to do with anything modeling out there, but I made this during before I moved into my new workshop, just to relieve a bit of boredom and give me something to do. A little bit of Railway Series artwork. I made one of these.
Oh, I saw that. It's lovely.
So yeah, I just basically just cut this out of my jigsaw and just thought like might as well just paint it up. So just
makes me think of was it end of Series 1, Series 2?
Yes.
That shot with that. And it was what was the other company called that Brit went in with? Clearwater.
Oh no, yeah.
Yeah, because it came up with that, and it was always on the.
Yeah, it showed that there. I still love that. Funny enough, there was actually, I think in some of the Screen Legends VHSs there, they actually did show this image first before they go to the episodes.
I remember that.
Yeah, because I actually I think it was last year. I only recently got like the complete collection of the Screen Legend VHSs because I love the advert they give at the start of Series 2. I thought this is the best advert I've seen.
Yeah, I love, because the thing was, I had, for some reason, I don't know why, I only had Deputation, and I always wanted the other two. I mean, next door neighbours had it, and I used to borrow it off them, but I never got it myself.
Yeah, funny as well, because my neighbour's son had they had the later version of those VHSs, and it was Percy it was written down as Percy the Signal and Other Stories when really it was Thomas Percy and the Coal and Other Stories.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But they had that one there, and I loved it because it was the only VHS I knew that actually had the mainboard sequence from Series 2, and I really loved that. I wanted to see that more because when I was young, before my collection grew, I only had 2 Thomas VHS tapes, which was the old paper sleeve ones. If you remember those.
Yes,
yes, I do.
Yeah, I had a couple.
Yeah, so I had Thomas and the Breakdown Train and Other Stories, and Thomas Comes to Breakfast and Other Stories. only one of the two survives today. It's just playable, but it's mostly snow and static. But the other one is lost. I actually, literally, the one that survives is the Thomas and the Breakdown Chain one. But the Thomas Comes to Breakfast one, that was my favorite out of the two, and I'm trying now to find a copy, just to relive my childhood memory. And if anybody knows where you find a copy, please let me know, because I will be back
in a second, because I know where my original VHSs are, and
just to rub it in, Tom.
No. Hey, the person who goes, I don't talk about TV series. Well, yeah, this is different. This is.
Oh God, yeah, this is a rarity.
I do actually have a VHS here. Hold on a sec here of one that I actually do have, which I really did like getting rented out from the video shop. Hold on.
Right. Talk amongst yourself.
Yeah. Alex Greener, which videos of TARDIS Rescues are you on about? Is it his trains ones or model ones?
Right. This is the one I used to rent from the video shop quite a lot. This one.
Oh, I'm sure I had that one.
Yeah, I wanted to try, when the video shop didn't have this anymore. I actually went and tried to look for it at the video shops, and I ended up getting the wrong one by accident.
Oh no!
It's because of that promo image. I ended up getting Thomas's Train and Other Stories, the bumper special one, by accident. And I was like, this is not the one I wanted. Still, at least there's episodes on here I haven't seen, but even so, I wanted this one because it's series 2. But yeah, I got 2 of these now. I got 2 of these here. So this one is sold. I've sold it now on eBay, so I need to get that posted tomorrow, as well as a few other things. So
I had on VHS. I didn't have series 1 until after I got series 2. I remember the series 2 tapes. One being in a yellow cover, one being in a blue. I cannot for the life of me remember what the third one was. I'm sure there was 2 tapes. But I've got them upstairs in one of the attics.
Yeah, you've got the Screen Legend ones.
They weren't in paper; they were in plastic. Yes.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Those are the Screen Legend ones.
Yeah, no, I've still got mine, and I know as you were saying about one of them being snowy. I think it's the Thomas Percy and Nicole one. That one crackles at the end, at the beginning, but thankfully through the adverts before it starts playing the episodes. So it's still playable. I presume it's still playable.
Screen Legends is was just for series 2, I think.
Yeah.
Now, which was the one, Mike? You said you wanted a copy of.
Right, it's the paperback sleeve, and it has Owen Bell's artwork of Thomas jumping through the countryside, and it's Thomas Comes to Breakfast and Other Stories.
Right, because I think the Owen Bell artwork ones were the second release of series 1. Now, if I'm right, this is the original. These are mine. This is from 1984.
Well, I haven't got that one, but still, that's good. That's good.
$7.99. That's when that came out.
I actually remember before the VHSs went out of range. They actually still were $7.99 before the DVDs came in. The DVDs were like so expensive.
That's my other one.
Oh.
Yeah, I remember them covers.
This has been this. What made me laugh with this, the opening of this. You know, for those that are old enough, as some of us are, to remember VHSs, you put it in, and it just had this background noise going.
Yeah.
As soon as you then got to the titles, it almost blurred into it. It went. And you sort of merged into it. It was the most weird thing ever.
My one's always started off with a phone dial. Do you remember those?
Yeah. Yes.
I used to question that. Yeah, that's what he used to do. He used to have, like, every time he was playing, he just says a little do. I'm like, who's on the phone?
Yeah.
Who's watching? Who's dialing a number? I'll stop this here.
Oh, showing our age that. This is my original Deputation.
That's the one.
I had that.
That's the one.
Definitely had
I
that.
got that one.
Hey, Full House.
I've got that as well. So.
Yeah. Now, when probably about 2008, I mentioned that I never had. I picked up some of the re-releases they'd done of like Thomas Percy and Nicole, not in the original Screen Legend boxes when they reissued them in the mid-90s.
Yeah.
But I went on eBay. This was like back in 2008. I thought I want the original ones.
Oh look, it's Dan.
Yeah, I've got them, Tom. They're the same ones I've got upstairs in the attic.
Oh,
And then I bought Series 1, which was one cassette box, but it had two tapes in it. So it was like quite chunky. I thought that's somewhere as well. Been around. Because up to that point, the only Series 1 episodes I had was what I had recorded on VHS. And it stopped at Cole.
What was the one? I actually do remember. I know I mentioned the Screen Legends adverts for Series 2 not there, but I do remember. This was during when Series 3 came out. They had the VHS adverts for those. It was had a slight collection of the video collection, so they had like adverts for Thomas, Rosie, and Jem.
Yes, I remember those. It was like
that advert actually scared me when I was young. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
All the covers of the VHSs were all like in a line, and then it would zoom in on one and do.
Yeah, because I didn't like that advert because it showed. It was my first time seeing the scene from A Scar for Percy when Percy gets covered in the jam, and I literally thought when I was young, Percy had literally killed someone, and the jam was the blood.
Maybe he did. Maybe he's just very good at covering it up.
It just scared me. I was like, okay, that's quite scary.
If our friend Stuart had anything to do with it, I think there would be a murder involved in.
I like how that's how you've pegged Stuart now.
But
he would definitely murder someone.
No, the whole Twitter thing he's been posting about Thomas and Percy. That's what I meant. I meant for the fact that Thomas would probably murder Percy. That's what I meant. I don't mean Stuart. Oh dear, I've got myself in a hole here. Stuart is a very nice chap.
But you think he would kill someone? Yes.
No, Luke. You're just putting. Just to quickly say, I'm going to plug him now. His Thomas looks excellent.
So.
Oh yeah, no, but people have seen it on Twitter. He's Thomas. I haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Saying his Thomas looks excellent. That's all.
It does.
I tell you what, always made me laugh with the Screen Legends intro. I love the Thomas bit.
Yes.
Hated the Henry's cat bit. I never watched it, but I can still remember. Henry's cat. We're about to be invaded by little blue men from Jupiter. We must move something to Scotland. I'll be back in 20 minutes. That's all I remember. I never watched it.
You remember more than me, Tom. I blanked that from my memory.
Well, I haven't now. That's you're not going to sleep tonight.
There was one. The only thing I remembered from Henry's Cat, I actually did have a Henry's Cat VHS tape, and there was one. I don't know, one episode. I must look it up on YouTube after maybe later this evening here, where he's on on a quest to find the legendary magic belly button that grants you wishes, and I don't know, but he finds it, which turns out to be the button of some guy's jumper, and he thinks it's the thing, and he says oh, what shall I wish for? And he wished for a Jelly Baby sandwich. I'm like, who eats a Jelly Baby sandwich?
And the fourth Doctor.
Yeah,
that's good joy. Yeah.
Tell you what though, oh no, look in the chat.
Oh dear. Oh. See what you did, Tom.
Is Stuart waiting to join or something?
No, I've sent it. Yeah, come on, be a big man then. Come on, join in. Come on, we've got the invite.
Seeing a fight happen.
Oh, dear.
He's saying that he's waiting to join on your end, Tom. You need to go and let him in.
Oh, hold on. I need to scroll down. There's another. Hold on. I think there might be another window. Hold on. Hold on. I can't. Oh, hold on.
Uh-oh.
Sorry. I couldn't see it.
That looks like a dodgy Portland Pat knockoff.
No. That's Ted.
It's a Hubert de Cologne.
Am I in?
Yeah.
Oh,
Hello.
Tom, you're an arsehole. Am I allowed to say arsehole?
No.
Okay, well, you're a hand-fisted bun vendor.
There's a reason for this. I couldn't see your thing. You had a line of 4 at the bottom, and I couldn't see it. And then I just realised there was a bit there, and I hadn't seen it. Sorry. I'm sorry. I really am.
You old people.
Yeah, we're talking VHSs, eh? Remember them?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I invented them.
You had to skip an episode. You had to fast forward the whole tape, and if you wanted again, you didn't have to.
I was terrible, Mike. I used to just take them out, and then I go and watch it again. I go, it's right at the end. I have to run it all the way back, and then.
You missed it. You missed it again. You end up watching halfway through. You're like, no, I want to see the first bit again. Oh, back to the beginning again. Oh, that tape's come out.
Or your VHS recorder mangled the tape. That's the other thing.
Oh, I had many. I actually lost quite a few VHSs because of that.
Mike's picture fades to black and white and plays some sad music. I lost some VHSs.
Somebody's probably going to screen record this whole thing, or maybe download and just edit it in the software, and it just cuts to all like the best bits from this year, and then probably add that bit. But it's Simon and Garfunkel in my bed saying, "Hello, darkness, my old friend,"
and me doing a Henry's cat impression. There we go.
Oh, do you know what? It kind of sounds like Spike Milligan playing Moriarty in the Goon Show. Now that's making me sound really old because that's a radio show from the 50s.
You were there for the first broadcast, yeah?
Oh yeah.
You look good for your age, Mike.
Oh yeah.
That's you, Tom. Weren't you the one who relieved Ladysmith?
Oh no, Stuart's just left the chat. That was a shame.
You can't silence your most valuable asset.
No, I know. We in fairness, my favourite bit last week was on Awdry Corner was the bit where we got onto tramway engines and Stuart just went, "Is it me?"
I don't remember any of that.
It's just a blur.
It's a fever dream.
Just a blur, eh? It's just a blur.
Don't misuse the word dream like that again, Luke.
Oh, okay.
You've crushed so many. You should know by now. You little heartbreaker, you.
Thank you, Stuart.
Oh yeah, by the way, I actually did check out when Luke was on Lucky Tug's stream. By the way, actually, some people will be asking me like, "Oh, did you see the stream?" Yep, I saw it.
It was just in the middle of the night.
I'm more intrigued with what's going on in the chat at the moment.
Yeah.
What's going on in the chat here?
Stuart,
are these your regular cretins, or
if anybody's wondering why I keep looking off screen here, I'm actually looking at the chat. If you know what I mean, I'm making use of the screen. Just pretend I'm actually breaking the fourth wall. I'm actually looking at the chat here.
Alex, don't feel awkward. They're all awful people.
We're literally talking about VHS's a battle in the Boer War and Thomas the Tank Engine. So not really. I don't think cool is the word we can use here. Are we allowed to use the word cool? Or like arsehole, are we not allowed to?
In fairness, we've been cool tonight. I was there. I measured the Mid-Sordo Railway. It's 28.5 miles. Awdry did it wrong. Alan Park yourself. Stop getting Awdry wrong.
So does Noah Steam.
Or George.
I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is. I'm gonna rank it as number three. Number three is races. Number two is chases, and then number one's runaways. Thank you. That's my worst to best. I did it worst to best.
I think my favourite character is Fergus, and I had a Fergus episode.
I was going to say, Stuart. Someone asked
Fergus. What a character Fergus is. Welcome to the Fergus show, everyone.
Someone earlier, Stuart, asked what would someone
like bring Fergus
shut up?
Is that Fergus is the most Awdry-esque character of them all. Now you might be wondering what Awdry-esque means. We've all been wondering that at home ourselves. Now, I think what I really like about Fergus is the fact that he has a stupid face. That was my take. That's it. I don't know anything about the train.
Someone earlier was asking what from series 3 or 5 and 17 to 20 would you see actually working in the railway series? And I was going to say none because it would be Fergus.
All the hell, Fergus.
Bring back always. Oh my God.
Fergus is still up for sale, I think, Stuart.
How much?
Somebody's asking.
Sure, but it was up for sale last year.
It's been for sale for 2 years now.
It's at Ning Valley at the minute.
That one, yeah.
Is there only the one?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's only one of that shape, but there is actually, I think, 4 traction engine from locos.
Okay, I'm going to give everyone in the chat my PayPal details so we can save Fergus.
No, but that's your name, isn't it? Stuart Chaps.
Stuart Chaps.
Oh, sorry. Was that a joke?
Can blame Mr. Dan for
It's a
that.
good thing you gave it up.
Oh dear.
But yeah, donate, help save Fergus from what we're saving Fergus from?
The Neen Valley.
The Neen Valley Railway. They're probably very nice, but
Well, yeah, they actually do have an actual Thomas there.
oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, the real Thomas does exist. Thomas does
the real
exist.
one.
And
Was
people
that-
say,
Yeah,
people
another
say
one that Brit went after.
I was about to say that was another one that Brit tried to.
Sue.
Oh, it's slagging off Britt Allcroft. Go on then. Right, is one I'd written down earlier.
Oh.
I'll just
No, sorry.
let me know when he's done.
Oh, yeah.
I'm done now.
Mike, I've just discovered there's a mute button here.
Oh no, you can't silence Stuart. He will.
I think that was very rude, Tom. I quite like Britt Allcroft, actually. I think she was better than the Reverend Awdry. There, I said it.
Please, is there any way I can actually smack him with this? Is there
Go
any
on.
way?
Go on, throw it. I'll catch.
Oh dear.
I think you just knocked him out.
Hang on, but the paper's still
Leave
here.
that eye anyway.
How did he do that?
It's like the Eric Morecambe sketch with the bag of crisps. I could never do it.
The paper bag. Actually, I'm not gonna. Somebody actually posted. I think the Morecambe Wise archives thing. They actually did release the paper bag as a toy. I'm not kidding. And I'm not kidding. The paper bag was actually released as a toy, and it said on the packet there, "How to do the paper bag trick." It's so easy. So I wish I had a paper. I actually wish I had a paper bag to do it though, but
Now,
It's like I don't know.
Alex has asked. So, out of everyone here, chat and stream, what models and projects would you want ideally done in 2020?
Marisha. Yeah, she's been away from Bonus for a while now. Oh, sorry. Oh, our projects, right?
Croven's Gate. Full stop.
everything I need to model for branch line engines, like every single part of the Farquhar branch line,
Tax returns.
which I have to model.
Ben,
I would like some decent track laid in mine. That's it. Something I can run something on.
You've got a big.
If I was to do, if it was anything like my own personal purchase, I actually would like to get my Farquhar Mark II replica made. Like, get it done this year, but I have to rebuild it again.
Is that the one with the where the station building was made out of an Airfix church?
Yeah.
Ah, right. Okay.
Yeah,
I know some.
Yeah, because there was the Telecom Railway gave me copy of his manual. It said it actually did mention in the manual that the baseboard had a top layer of pulpboard, or like the back of, like, if you get those paper file blocks, that grey card that they have at the back. It's like a whole layer of that there, and I thought, really, there's a top layer of that there. So I had to buy like a whole boatload and put it on top, but it actually caused a bit of warpage, and I thought, this is not going to be good. So I thought, I'm just going to rebuild it again, maybe just put cork on top, and that's it. Just don't bother about the pulpboard.
In an ideal world, well, I need to get Thomas done, but I will get done.
I actually was going to ask you, how far were you actually with your Thomas?
Do you want me to go and get it?
Go on.
If you must.
Yeah, all right. Just because you are Mr. Superb Thomas.
Am I?
Well,
He's gone, Stuart. He's gone.
Right.
He's got a sir in his name, so.
Now, here's a fun fact for all of you in the chat. Now, don't tell Thomas said this because he's not going to watch over this anyway, is he?
Well, he is going to watch back. He is going to watch back, like, you know.
The reason why Tom hasn't finished his Thomas is because he's been too busy playing around with the little trains. Thanks, Luke. It's all
right.
your fault. Oh, hello. We were just there. It is. Not
Blimey,
touched since he discovered 2'3".
Blimey, Thomas has only got sunburned.
Yeah, he's been out with you, Mike. That's why. Been some. Yeah.
Yeah, hang on. Isn't he running for election again this year?
Who, me?
Don't insult.
Oh no, Thomas. Sorry, I thought I mistook him for someone else.
Yeah, that's yeah. It's attached to the chassis. Oh no. Yeah, it's. I'll put it back now.
Where have you put the push-pull gear?
Not fitted yet.
Do you know what? Somebody actually did say to me when I actually showed my Far Cry Operation video one in some group, and somebody got back to me saying, "Yeah, hang on a sec. You said Thomas was a push-pull there. Yeah, you actually do show him like coming in bunker first." It's like, where's the push-pull system in that? Then I had to try and think, like, you know. Well, he can run around his train if he needs to, if this is a certain operation, but...
Or you do what Ben does and just say, no, I don't like that.
You don't. Oh, Ben.
No. Sorry.
It's in the illustrations, Ben. You can't deny it. It's the truth.
I can't.
Sounds like
you denying the good work of.
Sounds like PK there in the chat.
Yeah. If you want a good sort of discussion on Toby's character, watch last week's Awdry Corner.
Yes, definitely.
Sorry, did you say character assassination?
I think you talk quite positive about him. Whereas this engine here, you're not so positive about him. No,
I do like him though.
He's an idiot.
I don't. One of the most annoying characters you could ever imagine.
The king
I
of
think you see too much of yourself in him.
Probably.
The chairmaster's put Tony.
It's Tony Tram.
Tony Tram.
Tony Tram.
Now, there's a character I might write into the series.
Do it.
You'll be hearing from my solicitors.
Well, for the copyright.
Yeah, I invented Tony the Tram. His name is Tony.
After who?
Tony Wright? Why?
I say the Kellogg's Frosties box.
But he doesn't like Thomas, though.
Tom, can you confirm?
What?
Does Tony Wright not like Thomas?
He did post on his thread on Iron Web basically saying that he'd looked at the books, he read them to his children and wasn't overly impressed. So I did a massive post saying, Tony, I respect you very much as a friend, but I disagree with you.
Now, look, even Tony Wright can be Tony wrong.
Hang on. Tom, wasn't there not a story I heard, something about Tony was taking a photograph?
Yeah, okay.
Go on, tell the story.
Okay.
You know more.
Okay, so, hold on. Can you scroll back through the chat? Oh, yes, you can do, because there's a question I was going to reply to. It was on the Grantham layout that I've been involved with, and Tony was taking photos, and my friend Graham King, who is the master of doing resin parts and stuff, he had this he always has this little plan. If one of the operators starts having a go at him, because the operator proper operating working timetable, he has a plan that if an operator starts having a go at him, he just sticks Thomas on the track. This is LNR 1930s, by the way. So there was this incident, and Tony Wright had taken this really good shot, which I think it used to be my B16, and I sold it to a friend that Tony had built, and it was there on the track. It's this lovely shot. He'd taken the photo, he'd edited it, and he put it on Iron Web, I think. And I think he shared it with someone, and then my friend Graham went, Tony, look who's in the background. And I can't repeat. It was the little blue. And
Arsehole.
follows. What I won't say.
Sorry, we're not allowed to say that word.
No, I'll get struck off YouTube.
No, you're fine.
So Alex had asked when I can scroll back up, and I don't know how to.
Yeah. Put your mouse over the chat and use your scroll the
Oh,
wheel.
my Mac's being rubbish at the moment.
Oh, well, there's your problem.
Oh, there we go. Here it is. Right. Alex says, so Tom, I tried to ask this on your first Twitter stream. Twitter glitched out, so here we go. When the Branch Trio and Scarlo are finished, what's next? What loco would you like to do for mainline?
Fergus.
Lion.
Probably Emily. Joke.
Well,
Why don't you try? Why don't you go with Edward, first character? That'll be an idea. Why don't you actually model
No,
the three railway
Ed-
engines first?
Edward one is one I like to. I'd like to do Henry, and I'd probably do it like Unlucky Tug's done his. I like the fact he's used a domeless Black 5 because we've spoken a bit about this. That actually Henry came out when the first batch of Black 5s came out, so more likely would be a domeless Black 5, which of course makes a whole joke of the whole don't trust domeless engines; they're not respectable.
I'm actually going to check the photograph here. Is Ryan Awdry's Henry domeless?
It's a guess. I'd say probably not. I reckon it'll be one of the next batch of Stanias, which had the top feed close to the dome. I'm guessing.
but Henry is
Green Fires did their brothers out in the 50s, I think, or was it the late 40s?
and
Trying to see here.
the illustrations depict him as an Ivert built Black 5, don't they, with the top feed really far forward.
Which would make sense.
Yeah.
From the period it's
War
been.
batches and onwards.
You know, but as we say, you know, in unison before the great painting of Wilbert Awdry, we say the illustrations are not gospel, and then we burn a baby.
Good job.
Yeah.
That video brings me so much joy.
Baby sweet corn.
Impossible to operate. Oh, I tell you what, you never actually see what he hits, but it's obviously he taps the layout. But I mean, he does it with a proper whack.
Is that in the newsreel?
The newsreel.
Yeah, he hits the perspex.
Oh, it's a yeah.
Yeah, it's perspex. Yeah, on the front there.
Get to, what I love on that clip is when he goes, "Get to the back, please." Impossible operate. You see the kid go to the back. You see this other kid who just goes like this. He looks at his kid, and goes. That's like traumatized.
You didn't hear the child saying sorry, so child's learned his lesson. But then again, that's what happens at model railway shows. Like you can't stop kids from running up and poking their fingers. Because I mean, when I
call the taser.
Do you know who's the worst for it though? As someone who's been operating an exhibition layout for some doom. Probably not as long as Mike though, you know. I love your layout, Mike.
Thank you.
I'll steal it. Thanks. Anyway, I've found that you can make the barriers as high as you want, but there's always going to be that one parent who'll lift the child up
and sit them on the barrier.
It's not the children; it's the adults that are the problem.
Do you know what would be the worst case? The worst case, I'd say, like for very badly timing, is if the parent lifts the child up to have a look at the layouts. And again, bad timing. If the child
that has actually filled me with like a primal fear now. I'm never going to take this layout to exhibition.
No, Luke's got all quite a mass in the pit.
Thomas is like slowly working nice, and I get, what is he talking about? Oh.
Luke will be at like a show, and then it'll be like Luke will be there with his layout. And someone say, Luke, do you want to go and get something to eat? No, I'm fine. Luke, and then he'll just be there going, Luke, you all right? I really need the loo. Go. I'm not leaving my layout.
Off the bucket.
We've had a question, and I really want to hear Stuart's thoughts on this one. The ballast man.
Oh, not him.
Says, don't insult our viewership. The ballast man says, so a question for everyone. If you could change a book in the RWS, what one would it be and why? Stuart, would you say book 27 to 42?
Well, that's only one book, and they're not part of the Railway series anyway. I don't acknowledge them.
That was the highlight of our last week's episode, was where I went, we haven't talked about any Christopher Awdry stories. I've just heard Stuart going,
Look, if he wrote some good stuff, fair enough. You know, pat on the back. There you go, Chris. There you go. But
He has read some
all
nice stuff.
no, all of his stories are non-events.
He has written some nice stuff.
Percy ran over a bike. The end. Classic. Do you know what my favourite thing is? It's the description for really useful engines on the wiki. Life is never dull on the Fat Controller's Railway. Talk about irony.
Luke, Sodor NW Steam says you need to get back with him with your PayPal details, apparently.
What? Sending number 3? Yeah, no, George. No.
And also, apparently...
Excuse me, I thought you said you didn't know who he was.
I do now.
He also says, Tom, I'll let you into a little secret. Stuart's favourite story is Pop Special, but he's a little bit shy about it.
It's true. The Luke rewrite of Pop Special is much more palatable.
It will happen eventually.
No, it won't.
Okay. I'm gonna go for a bit here, and I'm gonna bring back my favourite Christopher Awdry book. Okay. Just give me a second.
What Belinda the Beach was.
Ladies and gentlemen, now we look for the bodies.
I'm trying to think. I think, Ben, we spoke about because we're that bit older. We grew up. We both said the same thing. We really liked Christopher Awdry's books at the time because they were coming out at an age when we were young and would actively go, "Oh, new railway."
To be fair, Tom, during the Blitz, there wasn't much else to do.
No,
the old one day
North of England and all that.
Don't care what Stuart
I
says.
remember because I used to like the Spong stuff as well at the time. I used to like the Spong illustrations, but yeah. I think you're right, Tom. It's because they were coming out at the time, so it's something new.
This is still my favourite. Not
You
gonna lie.
see, Mike, the only trouble I have with that now is I look at that book and I go, "Oh, look, it's the book that had to be written so Brit could do more stories."
I looked up
I
to
didn't
you,
know
Mike.
that. I didn't know that until Chris told me in 2008.
To be fair, actually, Tom, I've got to admit that's probably pushed my favourite out of Christmas.
Well, there we go.
And the other one that I like is Gordon the High Speed Engine.
Stuart is an old man. He may look young, but he's in his 60s. Wow, Stuart, you're getting a lot of flack at the moment.
Well, do you know what? When you say the truth, sometimes, people can't handle it.
Now, Alex says, I do kind of like huge parts of Thomas and his friends. I cannot explain it, but he has a sense of final that I can appreciate. I must admit, I really don't like that book.
I am a huge believer in freedom of speech, but you need to shut up right now.
Alex, don't listen to him. None of the rest of us don't. But no, Thomas and his friends, I think it's because, one, it reuses annual stories, which Mike's just holding his now. Mike's like, this is my most cherished possession.
It's the last of my collection for now.
Stuart is still in his infancy as a god. Oh, that's sort of a compliment there.
Yeah, see, if it said hero, then I could have done that line from Three Doctors. But
who is that in the door? There's not somebody behind you, Ben. It's
oh, it's on the old dead Victorian child that haunts him.
Probably is. Probably the old railway guy that died on the branch line.
Let me in, I want your
I've seen all sorts of strange things in the house.
Let me in, for I'm a bogus gas man.
talking about old Davy there, Ben.
Oh, if anybody doesn't know that reference, watch Still Game. You'll know what I mean.
It's very. I finally caught
Are you talking about old Davy there, Ben?
Oh, old Davy.
Oh, well, could be. He hasn't tapped me on the shoulder yet, anyhow, so I'm good.
But no, book 42. I didn't like. I didn't. I tell you what I didn't like. It was how Gordon gets. I like the aspect of like Pip and Emma become an NWR service, and I like that. But it's almost the way that we know Gordon so well. It's like, Gordon, you're no longer doing the Express. And he's like, oh, okay.
There's no
What
fight.
There's
He
a
got
line
a
in the
modest
book that
retirement, fee. He did well. They sent him to the Knackers yard, cut him up. Also, I love how people are still, driving Morris 8s and Austin 7s around on Sodor then. And the most modern thing is this HST. It just looks so out of place.
Yeah, and what, like 7 years later, they're being retired off the network?
It's like if the island from The Wicker Man had a monorail.
I can just imagine the remake with
No.
Cage just seeing that. It's like,
Can I just say, actually, this is actually becoming a thing in the chat. Is that just a reflection, or is that actually someone at the window behind?
I'm pretty sure it is a reflection.
I reckon Ben just got turn around and go, ah!
Do you know what it just reminded me now? There's a very funny story I actually have to tell, because this happened when I was in York and with some friends. Right, who here has been on a ghost walk? They're really silly. They're really silly, aren't they?
I think I went on one as a kid.
Right, we got this one guy doing our ghost walk, and I swear to God, he was the spitting image of Richard O'Brien from the Crystal Maze. He had to get up and all that, and he was all. I know, and every time we move from one section to another, I'm not gonna lie. Every single one of us just went dun 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 dun. Right, how many crystals have we got? We got the next phrase. Like, how many crystals are? Okay, I'll take a practical test now. Anyway, is this the one with the train layout in it? Anyway, I remember that one. But anyway, we got to this one place. Which before we stopped there, we were going down this high street, and there was a whole lot of these shops out there, and amongst them there was a model shop. Nice
Monk Bar.
I really don't know.
Yeah, it will be that models. Yeah, Monk Bar models. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we stopped at this place. We were passing this place, and I looked around and I thought to myself, "Hey, that's a really good place. I wonder what that's like in there." And sure enough, he stops there. The man stops there, and he says, "Now this shop here." And I was like, "Oh God, he's pointing to the model shop. Please don't let the model shop be haunted." And he says, "Now this shop, this is a haunted shop." And I'm like, "Oh my God, what is he saying?"
Haunted by the monk.
I don't think it was a monk. No, it was just this old man or something who just haunts the thing. Basically, the story went like this: old man dies in this shop, and this young woman comes in, moves in, and as she's moving in there, she's just getting the last box of her belongings into the house. She looks up, and at the top of the stairs, she sees the ghost of the old man, and he points down at her from the top of the stairs, and he yells, "Get!" And the man literally went over the top out there, telling us the story. Raised his voice, and he just yells out, "Get out of my house, woman!" and all that there. We're all standing there going, "Oh God, is he really doing all this here?" And out of nowhere, we actually now. I'm sorry, Tom. I might have to break the rules. I might have to cuss here. I'm sorry, but I have to say what has to be said. I don't know. This is the only time in the ghost walk we actually got a fright. we actually got frightened. We heard this shrieking voice amongst us shouting, "That's bullshit!" We turn around. We turn around, and there's this 89-year-old woman in her nightgown, coming out in her dressing gown out there, pointing to the man. She says, "I lived in this place for 59 years, and I haven't seen no ghost. It's all the same with you people coming around. Because of you, I missed the effing lottery because you shut up the numbers."
At that point, to
which point, the man quickly just stopped what he was doing. He's like, I'm so sorry. Let's move on. We were purple in the face because we were laughing so hard. and she was like, "Do you ever watch Come Fly With Me, the comedy show?" It's like a little bit with basically this character called Precious. It was like a coffee on it, but there's this at the start of her scenes, like she's shooing away the customers. She's like, as we're walking past the old woman, there she's just literally just waving her walking stick at, like, trying to put us away. She's just going like, "Go on, shoo, get little so and so's ruining my night."
I just need to say something. Sorry, Andrew, take that back, or you'll lose your kneecaps. It's a personal thing. Sorry.
I just want to address the public safety concern regarding Luke's fingers and glue.
They're
Don't
not-
worry, don't go anywhere near his nose. He will not be sniffing substances tonight. That's next week. He will also not be gluing his fingers together because Luke is much more intelligent.
Spirit, man.
I'm
Show your fingers. See, there we go.
Look at
He's
these.
making some teeth to replace his old ones.
Somebody,
Like the orange peel scene from The Godfather.
somebody asked in the chat. They went. They said, "Who is BG? I'm not familiar with his work." I was like, "This is BG. BG beats us all. He owns an actual steam locomotive."
I thought
it'd be better if it was running.
Well, don't say that. You're spoiling. I'm trying to build you up here. He's a fireman. I don't mean goes up ladders. He actually is a fireman on the trains. That's it. And he's a driver as well. And he owns his own steam engine. That tops
and
all
he's
the-
mine. You can't have him.
There he is. So that's who BG is. He's our hero.
Luke glues his fingers ASMR.
Was it on
what the
Luke's,
chat's changed into.
was it on Luke's first Modeller's Corner, Mike, where he spilt super glue all over his trousers?
Oh yeah.
He did, yes. I think I still have that video somewhere. I must look at that.
I'm pretty sure I've still got the jeans.
I think I just remembered, like, somewhere in the chat, we just hear Luke going, "Oh, for God's sake, what's wrong? What's wrong?" I was like, "What's wrong?" Like, spilt glue everywhere.
But it was like it's the cyano stuff, so it burnt through my shirt.
Did it
And,
start, did it start smoking?
yeah.
Yeah, you know, when I've had like some excess super glue, I shouldn't do this really. Like not on a model, but like if I've got it on my workbench, I used a cotton bud, and all of a sudden the cotton bud starts smoking. I think, oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
Do you know what the worst thing I did? There was no stupidest thing I did with super glue. I accidentally dropped. I had the rocket glue. You know that rocket super glue.
Oh yeah, I use that one. Yeah, because it's quite good.
Yeah, but it's a very watery one, the very watery thin one.
So it
Right.
sticks really quick, doesn't it?
Oh, it does. It does indeed.
Oh God, go on.
I accidentally
Drunk a gallon.
and yes, here
Why?
anyway,
Oh, Colin.
anyway, I accidentally spilled some. I actually spilled some on my hand whilst I was working on it. The bottle tipped over, and I caught, and the thing went over my hand. But anyway, and I thought, this is going to be a nightmare before it sets. And I thought, do you know what if I actually? I had that, that activator stuff, that activator spray for super glues. I thought, what if I get that there and I just peel the thing off? It should come off in one strip. That was the worst idea I ever had. I've had worst ideas. In fact, my recent worst idea was actually upgrading my Mac to that new iOS OS, whatever you call it. But anyway, so I thought, okay, well, it shouldn't be all that bad. My hand was burning like anything. It literally my whole hand just went
Because it gets so hot, doesn't it?
hot. My hand, when I peeled off the dry super glue, my hand was red raw, and I was like, "This should not be. Why does it have to be this painful?" And then so I had to like stop modeling for a while, for a few days until the skin grew back, and I was like, "That was the worst pain ever."
Wow.
There you go.
Totally unrelated. Luke, have you had a thing through from the TR? I had a thing, like their appeal thing.
Yeah, I got it through yesterday.
Hey, Luke,
Hey, Stuart.
you fixed my Edward.
This is a ransom, a camera live ransom. If you ever want to see your Edward again, shut up.
Hey, look, I'll buy it.
You don't want to.
Thank you.
I need a spare.
It's you spoke, Stuart. I'm not getting Edward back. I'm
Luke, I
sorry.
know where you live, and I have pipes and bombs and nails.
Isn't it going on eBay tonight, Luke?
Maybe. Don't know where you heard that. Silence, Richard. It's not naughty. It's business.
Oh wow! Oh wow! The I just looked at eBay.
That's to all the ladies.
£500 now.
iOS or Stuart's Edward? They're both probably in the same price category.
Tom, I told you not to reveal the price of how much I paid.
I didn't. You have now.
Oh, okay.
No, I think if you look too closely at my Edward, you'd probably run. I hacked it about a bit to fit things in, and then I
Why
broke
did
it.
you act?
You know, it was very pretty when it arrived in the post. And I was like, you know, let's take the pliers, the hammer, the rusty scissors.
I just,
Ooh,
we've already had somebody put an offer in for Edward. Someone's asked how much. Should we do like an auction, like proper like auction?
Go on, then.
The 50 days, 50 days, 50. So
Isn't that just Porky Pig?
that'll be him actually trying to get the first bid in. I
What was that film that
Don't ballast your layout, Richard.
King's Speech? You sound like the king in the King's Speech.
Yeah.
We're at war with Germany.
I've still yet to watch that.
I've never seen it. I've seen the trailer though, so that's all I need.
There's just
I've got it on DVD and I'm not watching
there's some
it.
audio I heard, some SAF audio I heard somewhere, or I think had old Bean talking, and every time he was talking to this one guy, he kept on going like, we're trying to work at this sort of. It takes him forever to say the conversation. Like, it's just him just mumbling.
hold on,
Stuart, $20 for Edward, yeah?
hold on.
Dollars?
Oh,
We're not using currency here.
BG is appointing himself as auctioneer there, so
We're using shillings and sixpence.
Pounds, shillings, and pence.
Yeah.
I am.
Well, you'll be old enough to remember when they invented that, Ben.
ooh. All right, Ben. Ben, just remember when that time comes, when we're back to normal, and number 9 is going to be resident at East Lancs, and you're going to be there firing, and Luke's going to go, I brought Stuart down, he'd like to come on the footplate.
Close the tender doors.
Now. I
He'd be
also tried the
He'd be like if you had him on the footplate, he'd be like Tiny from Toss TV. You know that video of Tiny going, "I'm driving a train."
I would also be the same height.
George, to answer your question in 3 words or less, it's a bugger.
Sorry.
What was the question? There's so much stuff going in the chat. We have some very, very keen auctioneers. Auctioneers?
You replace the $sign with a £sign and don't realise you're getting ripped off.
And to be honest, with the state of the world economy at the moment, it's not much different.
Oh, the dreadful state of the world.
Is it true, sir? What the diesel say? What did he say?
You say I'm fat. Yes, Gordon, you are quite fat. So fat that to widen the gauge.
Oh, come
You're
So we're running Brunel now.
on. Just because of you, Gordon.
You're so fat. You make me look like a slim model. You look at me. You make me look like a model for
skinny.
fat.
That's his entire purpose.
Right, hang on. We had a good question here for all of us here. Hang on. Yeah. Okay, RWS modelers, what is the model you are all dreading to make? The one where you thought, "Oh God, how expensive and hard it will be to make." Go.
Okay, I know. Daisy. I'm not looking forward to Daisy.
It is the process. If you're going to get like one of the Bachman ones, it's 100 and something for it, and then there's a potential of buggering it up.
Yeah, because I would be going with a super detailed one, or I could take Ben's advice.
Don't.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, that too, Stuart. Yeah, that too.
I mean, why do you want smelly diesels on your layout?
Well, that's why I'm sticking at 1959 for Farquhar, because then it's just the 3 Amigos.
It's all right for you, like you're on 4 mil.
Yeah, well, Stuart, not then. You've just
Sorry, Stuart.
Stuart dabbles.
Yeah, Stuart dabbles. Yeah, I'll let Stuart off.
Well, no, I dabble in 4 mil, and I'm a full-time 7 mil modeler. It's just I never find the time to do the full-time stuff. I'll have you know that beside me is my very crusty model of a Midland 20-ton brake van. You can't see it because I don't have a webcam, but it is crusty.
Is that the Stuart? Is that the one with the veranda at one end with 6 wheels?
No, but I do have that one as well.
So have I. Yet to build.
I like those ones. I've got the 4-wheel version as well. I think that's 10-ton. Oh,
I think for me, it'll probably have to be Revenant's Gordon, even though that's actually even though that's one I'm currently working on right now. Well, not working on right now, but I actually do have like most of the parts now ready to make it. And I'm like, when am I going to do that time to convert the chassis?
Mike, where is the original model for Gordon?
I don't know.
I know me and Luke were like talking about some months before, and we're like, yeah, where is the original Gordon? And we're like, I don't know. We don't know.
I looked in the study because I was in town at the time. And all we found was the long lost Henry model.
Yeah, which
was a good.
Which you did say you gave my response to it very, very well in Unlucky Tug's stream.
Yeah, just like, oh my god.
I was more like, oh my god, he's alive.
The one.
I think I was on a chat. I remember your reaction to that one, and you were just like, "But Henry doesn't exist anymore." He does.
All but one.
Am I right? Was the centre wheels out? Was it like running as like a 440? Was there something?
No, it was fitted with a Triang chassis, a Triang Princess chassis, and the middle wheel was for the drive gear.
Right.
Because as far as I know, because I actually own 2 Graham Farish Black 5s. One of them is being converted into Henry, but the other one is being used for spare parts out there. But the main body part there is just solid die cast. It's like the whole thing's just one big lump of die cast. There's no hollow bits at all whatsoever except in the cab. So I'm guessing the reason why Revenant didn't finish it was because he needed to mill out the underneath of where the firebox is in order to accommodate the motor.
My lord.
Yeah. So that's kind of why I think he stopped on like a. Plus, I think the valve gear arrangement might have been very tricky to work in.
So the Gordon image, I think it's in Thomas the Tank Engine Man. So that there's that the one photo of his Gordon, which I'm guessing it's.
I know we had this. I know you and I had this talk before. You were saying there were 2 Gordons, and I said there was 1. You remember that?
I remember having this conversation with you, Tommy.
Yeah, I remember.
Because we were looking at 2 different photographs, and it was like,
I know.
Decide whether it was or wasn't.
It's the lineup photo which clearly he sent to Gunver and Peter Edwards to do with Stepney in the shed, and he substitutes the Class 40 for some sort of Italian.
It was an Italian make of rail car. I forgot the name of the manufacturer. But
and I remember I looked at the back, and you can see there is a Gordon, which is clearly an A1, and I was like, Mike, that's not the Princess. And you were like, well, it's got to be. And I was like, it's not. It definitely isn't.
Yeah, I will admit it's not the Princess one, but it is. I will point out it's not a Gordon model. It's just a stand-in Class A1, A3 model. Because if it was Gordon, the running plate isn't.
No, it's very true that the running plate doesn't dip. But if you look closely, the cylinders on it. This is where it gets weirder. The cylinders are not A1. They're not Gresley. They are bulbous. They look like Stanier cylinders, which I don't understand. Because everything else in that shot is there's a Black 5 for Henry. It's the
original James.
Glasgow and Southwestern James.
Mm-hmm. And then you have Donald.
Yeah.
Yeah, then you have the rail car, and then the whole thing was taken on in the Farquhar Mark II Philly yards.
Yeah,
you can see the brick wall of the layout board there. But what I do remember was Revenant. I think Revenant and Teddy Boston used to swap models every now and again. So sometimes Revenant maybe give Teddy Boston some of his stocks, and Teddy Boston would give him some of his stock. So I'm just kind of guessing like was the the Grizzly engine probably a gift or something that somebody gave Reverend Audrey, or was it something that Teddy Boston got him, or I don't know.
I mean, it might make sense because Teddy Boston was a great Western modeler, wasn't he?
Yes, he said it was.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
In fact, there's a video clip I saw somewhere of like a home video footage of Teddy Boston's original model railway before he made his last one he made. But he had like an automated little feature where he had it was I think it was a cow. It was a cow or a sheep there, but it was actually on a little like angled rod, and if the train goes up towards it, it just went.
I think it's on YouTube.
Yeah, I think it's called. It's under a video called "50 Years of Teddy Boston." If you look at that, you actually get to see that video, and we also find out what happened to his original model railway. It's still there. It still exists, and it's being preserved, and it's being.
It's in someone's shed. It's the big It's I don't know where it is, but like there's certain things like we talked on Awdry Corner about this, that the mid Sodor was on display at Cadeby.
It was, yeah.
And then you said that's now with Christopher Awdry.
Yeah, because I asked him in 2008 when I met him at Peakorama. I just said to him, like, did you keep anything of your father's artifacts? And he says, I've got mid Sodor. And I'm like, interesting. I says, was that not at a museum? He's like, no, I think it closed down now. So
because the other thing that was in Mr. Boston's care was there's a map of Sodor that's it's in the same style as the one that Luke's seen in this study. There's one of northwest Sodor with the mid Sodor on a large blown up one. It almost looks like the illustration in Duke the Lost Engine where small controller and that are there. And you know which one I mean, don't you, Luke? The that big northwest.
Yeah.
That's not making me think.
But overall, it's one of Sodor on its own. That was part of the Cadeby collection. So I guess that's gone back to Christopher Awdry as well.
That's now making me think now here. What if Gordon's model was actually at Cadeby?
When did the connected? When did the TR do the study?
Oh,
well, as far as I know,
2005 is when that museum building opened. So I imagine that's when they decided to build the study as a thing, because the Awdry family had already donated the stuff to the TR, I believe.
Yeah, because it was left in Reverend as well.
Yeah, and they built the new. Don't
Yeah, as far as I know, with the Farquhar branch thing, I think it was given to the I don't know if it's right. This is the right name. I think it's the Furnace Model Railway Club, or it was some model railway club. They asked the model railway club to rewire the layout because there were some wires that come on down there. So they asked them to rewire the layout, service the engines so they're all running every single one of them is running very smoothly, and then in case if they want to exhibit the layout again. So they actually got like a group of a whole model club to actually restore the original layout.
Ben would know because obviously that's his area. Is the furnace. The furnace had a connection to Christopher Awdry because
Christopher Awdry was their president for the Furnace Model Railway Club. Because I still have upstairs on my bookcase the program, which was like
here, but where is it now? Here,
an anniversary, and there was a few photographs in there, and that they had a cabinet on display with a lot of Awdry's models in, but I didn't take a camera with me. I either didn't have a camera or I've lost the photographs, but they were all on display, or some of them were on display.
I've got this here. I bought this off eBay. Wally National Model Railway Show 2005. Farquhar features in this. Let me see if I can find it. Farquhar,
this is before Mark II goes to the TR.
I don't know yet. Could be. Let me see. Farquhar.
Who was looking after the Farquhar then before it went to the TR?
I'm just looking here.
Might actually say in the program because it might say exhibiting.
The Talcum Preservation Society are in this here, but let me see. Farquhar. I came across it not that long ago, actually. Where was it?
Or
I hear
as Woody Rush can say, Farcar.
Farker.
Farcar. Readiest? Farcar?
Right, stand. Okay, here we are. Stand C37, Farquhar, Christopher Awdry, and Talclin RPS.
The TR, yeah.
Yeah, so it says here, the Reverend Wilbert Vere Awdry built the branch line in 1965 at his then home in Stroud. It is a fine scale, not layered, with either scratch build or proprietary models adapted as required. The layer currently resides at Talclin Railway at Talwyn, Mid Wales, in the replica of the Reverend Awdry study in the new Railway Museum. So this must happen. Oh yeah, here it is now. The branch line was rewired by the Barrow MRC and has been given some minor attention by the group of TR members prior to this exhibition. Otherwise the layout remains much as built by the Reverend Awdry. The railway is run to a timetable which is devised by the Reverend, with all the original instructions still in use today. We look forward to seeing you around the layout. So yeah, that's all I have to say on that.
We've had a question for everyone. How do you
Hold on, we
feel?
haven't finished the question we were on.
Oh, sorry.
You smelly man.
Oh, you haven't got a... Oh, no. Sorry.
I have the power to get them to boycott you.
I understand the power mic you have, like with Modeller's Corner now. You just like,
I know.
So go on, Stuart. What's your modelling project you're dreading?
To answer this seriously, okay. I will say Henry. Because I don't want to do the smelly Black 5 version. I want to do Henry as he should be, in blue. Yeah.
Mike's face?
Look, Mike, you should have learned this from last Saturday. I've got really bad opinions and taste, so you just have to accept it.
Are you going with the copper cap?
Of course, yeah, from that one illustration. All the
Yeah, I will give you this. So Reverend Awdry's Henry model does have a copper cap.
Sorry, I just saw Sodor NWR's team's comment.
Oh, here we go.
Stuart, can we have a bit of Johnny Morris Henry?
I mean, I'm not your. Okay, fine.
Coining.
Oh, I'm so useless. I suffered dreadfully when I ran into the back of that train last week. Oh, I had a headache. Not to mention blood on my face.
Sounds like the Reverend Tim's.
I'm glad you could come to my ritual.
Oh, the Lord will provide.
I love the fact that when I first listened to the Johnny Morris recordings, I was like, okay, so this is his voice for old Henry. So when Henry gets rebuilt, he'll probably sound much younger and like, oh, I feel fine. No, Stuart, take it away. Rebuilt Henry.
I am the greatest. I will survive.
But I kind of like it that you can rebuild Henry. It's still rubbish.
We now move from the Reverend Tim's to Greenback.
No, Neil, I will not put glue in my fingers and pull up my beard. You say
that's what happened to that bit, isn't it? Isn't it, Luke?
Yeah.
The last time you put some glue there. Oh.
A genuine question here. Should Stuart talk like Johnny Morris for the rest of the stream?
Only if you want to lose viewers.
Let's put it for a vote.
Yes.
Pull the beard.
When you hear the sound of Luke pulling his beard, turn the page.
Oh dear.
Yes, if you were to scroll up in the chat, you would find there are more questions for you. Well, Luke and Ben have to answer.
Yeah,
first.
I've got to answer my dreaded modelling question.
Ben answered it already in the chat, actually.
Yeah, it's just easy.
Yeah.
It's very true. I don't know.
Circus, isn't it?
Yeah.
No,
it's,
because you've got to finish designing it. You
honestly, I do actually know. It's probably Neil, because I've got to make a whole custom chassis, and it's already been a pain so far.
And then you've got to make one for me.
Money.
Yeah, I'll give you money.
All right, good.
I was going to just ask you, Luke. I suppose are you going to do either Hugh at some point?
I will. Yeah, it's like the last one I'll do. I'll be
That's
doing
just painting
Fred.
a person, isn't it?
Eh?
What?
That's just painting a person, isn't it? Am I missing out on something here?
Chris Awdry, Stuart, you wouldn't know.
Oh, right. Okay. Oh, is that like the Tom Rolt one? Yeah, it is, isn't it?
I'll be doing him eventually, but I'll be doing Fred first. Fred takes priority.
That's the Alf one, right?
It is correct.
Yeah, that's.
You heard it here. You heard it. You heard it here first, my friends. Luke's going to be doing Fred.
Oh no!
After he has a cup of tea.
Said Fred.
So Fred said, "Let's have another cup of tea," and we said, "Nah."
There we go. First carriage shed wall.
Alex, well, Ben's already replied to you in the chat.
Yeah, no, I put James and Edward because I would like to have a model of both of them in 7 mil.
Yeah,
There'll be a fair bit of butchering going on.
I will have to actually rethink my feedback again, because I think Gordon might be easy enough to do. I will actually have to say Henry this time around, because as I said earlier on, if I want to try and do this modification to how Rivenoji was going to do it, it's going to be quite difficult to do. Because I have to make sure I get it right, and to make sure there's no short circuits and all happening. So that's.
I was asked to put shoe on head.
But that's a slipper.
Yeah, it's the closest thing.
It's the fact that mine just was like really serious. You like put a shoe on my head, and mine's just like, that's a slipper.
Well, be fair, there is a politician who wears a Wellington boot on his head, so.
Okay, less about Boris.
And he takes his job seriously.
Luke, what else do you have to present to us?
Nothing.
Alex hadn't realised that BG and British Gypsum are the same person, so he just thought you were some random guy in the chat going, "This is what I want to do."
Yeah, we didn't quite sort of explain the where BG actually derives from, which is shortened version of British Gypsum, which is the name of my engine.
I thought you were a big fan.
Ben, would you mind if I get a picture of your engine to share for people to see?
No, carry on, yeah. Yeah, decent one though, Tom, like one when it was working.
Yeah. Oh.
Might be black and white.
I want to look at frames in the yard at Ribble.
Luke, to be fair, you took the pictures of the frames in the yard at Ribble.
That's true, actually, yeah.
I want to look at them.
Oh, okay.
You helped me take the last of the parts off that day.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, people, this is no joke. This is not a wind-up. This is Ben's locomotive.
It's Benjamin.
Hold on.
I'm going to make sure that nickname sticks for it at Ribble now, Ben. It's the Benjamin.
There we go. That was Ben's Benjamin.
Cold sold separately.
Is that line scale on those rear drivers?
It's probably gypsum powder.
Or is it a multiplied oil?
Gypsum powder.
Oh, yeah.
What livery is it in?
Gypsum powder, apparently.
In a brown livery at the moment, which I believe they call rust. It was painted red in 1970, and it's still the same red as in today.
Oh, that's quite cool.
It's Scarlo-y red, that.
No, Richard, that photo's from like the 40s.
The days of the old.
Oh dear.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
Better
after
times.
spoiler transplant.
Was that 5 years ago?
No, I think that's a little bit.
Does that say 2015?
Yeah, April 2015, that.
Yeah, 5 years ago.
Hey, Ben.
That must be when it's published, Luke. Because when I picked it up, it wasn't that nice looking.
Ben,
There was a bit more rust on it when I picked it up than that.
You should get a man who does the those Goes Loco videos.
Oh, Laurie.
Laurie Goes Loco. Yeah, you should get him to maybe do like a review on it.
Once it's done, yeah. His Alf one was very fun.
Yeah, he's got like a wee diesel Huntsler, hasn't he?
It's a Ruston 48.
Oh, okay, Rustin. Yeah, he bought it off Sir William McAlpine, which he named it after him.
I do like those 48s. They're nice and tidy. Very small.
Yeah.
If you, I was just thinking there, you've got a 4 on it, Ben. Just call it Peter Sam. It's not much bigger.
How much you've changed, Only 8 months ago would have you said, I'd call it Gordon, wouldn't you? But no, it's all about the little engines now, isn't it, Tom?
Right. Now you've shown his engine. I'm going to try and see if I can get mine one up.
George. So there's an NWR newer Steam. I will get the Underground Ernie inspection trolley with Ernie himself in it, and that will run on my layout. It's the only loco.
I was just looking to see if there was a crest under there.
There was, yeah. We believe that is actually the crest, just about poking through the muck. Originally, it was painted green, the sort of standard green that Andrew Barkley did with a straw lining around, which we've seen as we've been taking the rust off and the more recent paint. The company it worked for was the Thistle Plaster Works at Penrith, or just outside Penrith, and then it changed its name to British Gypsum Limited when they all amalgamated. It's a symbol of a thistle, apparently, and there's a picture which I'm still waiting for, which is being given to me, which shows it when it was first built. Because Andrew Barkley, like quite a few other industrial companies, used to take a photograph, a works photograph of their completed engines, and it's got the thistle on for the company. So I'd quite like to see that, because it's not going into green when it's done first time round, but it will go into green eventually. I would like to put the thistle back on, but it's not what I'm going to begin with.
Right, Tom, I'm just sending you through my engine now. Now, unfortunately, this isn't actual steam powered.
Okay, hold on.
It has been known to be joked about every now and again, but this is one of my own engine. I actually have, which I might have to bring it home with me one day.
Oh,
Tuck it into bed.
Well, I'll have to find some rails for it to run on here, because the place where it's currently at now is about to be closed down. So.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm quite sad about that there. So yeah, this is my engine.
Oh, I've seen that on television.
Yes, that's the engine that you see in Pablo. That's my engine, Papa.
Because I recognised you in the episode. I didn't realise that was your engine as well.
Oh yeah. Because the funny thing was that I wrote the episode in, and the guys were saying, like, right, we need to find. Do you know anybody who has an engine? I says, oh yeah, I have an engine. They're like, really? Do you? I was like, yeah, I can get that ready. So it's actual steam. I was like, it's battery powered, but it does look like a steam engine. It makes the chuffing noise as well. I'm like, oh wow, that's so cool. So that picture was taken, I think, the week after I got it, and it was running on a different railway. In fact, this is actually the Drumaway miniature railway, which is apparently I think it's the largest miniature railway in Northern Ireland. The largest.
Oh, wow.
So to do a full lap of it, would take you 20 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that 5-inch gauge now?
No, it's 7 1/4.
7 1/4. Yeah.
So, Tom, do you remember the days from Permanent Way? Do you remember I said I was saving up for an engine?
yes. No,
That's the one I was saving up for, like, constantly. That's the one I saved up all. I saved up all my pay.
So, did you know where it was when you were saving for it? Like,
No, we were. It was a commercially made. The company where I got this from, they don't make this engine anymore, unfortunately, because they now do diesel outlines. But they actually did do steam engines as a commission, like special commission out there. So they did this one, the side tanks, and they also did one of saddle tanks. But I went for this one because I thought it looked nice. It had nothing to do with Thomas, and anything to do there.
Yeah.
But then again, the problem with the shot of it though, they actually in the catalog it was painted in blue, and I requested to be painted brown with the LBSC because I wanted to look because I quite like that livery.
Yeah.
So my dad secretly ordered it for me over the phone as a Christmas present, as well as a garden railway, a G-scale garden railway, which I still did not know about. But he did say to me, he says to me, "What do you want it in?" And I says, "Oh, brown, umber brown." And he tells the guys over the phone, and the guy, I'm not lying. This is what the guy says at the other end. He says, "Are you sure?" He says, "Are you sure you want it brown?" He says, "Because most of our customers want it in blue. I don't know why."
Blue with a big number 1 on it.
And you, Mike, were you just like, no idea why?
Well, I didn't know about this yet, but it was only like after Christmas that my dad told me, like, this is the progress so far. And he says, "Is there anything else you want them to do on it?" And I says, "Can you ask them if they can do the LBSC on it?" Then he's like, "Yeah, that's what they can do." They says, "Yeah, they can do that there." And before they sent it out to me, they actually said that engine was actually the smartest one of the collection. Like everybody else, they just didn't actually request anything else. But that's one of the only times where the engine actually had a proper good livery on it.
The colour reminds me of the Keithley Worth Valley's pannier tank when it's its railway children.
Yeah, it does actually. Yeah, I remember that.
It's a nice brown.
Get off the line, Bobby.
It's all no good. I also do remember in that film when Mr. Parks is sending the Scots Flyer through. If you listen very carefully, after he explains to Pete as to why is the engine going so slowly, Mr. Perks? Well, it's
all uphill to Scotland, isn't it?
Yeah. If you listen carefully after he leaves, you can actually hear him say, "Cheeky beggar."
It's the bit when they're saying goodbye to Aunt Emma, and they're like to Aunt Emma, and Pete goes, "And all who sail in her."
I like it when he tries to defend the fact that he was nicking coal. I was taking it. That's mining, not stealing. Remember that.
Here, hang on. Something I actually wanted to ask. There's nothing to do with railways, though. There is a railway episode.
I will be back. I'm just going to go and get myself a drink.
Because you just reminded me of because that railway that they filmed the Railway Children also featured another TV program in a very well-known TV program. Which I actually have a book, a novel adaptation of one of their specials. Let's see if I'll wait till Tom gets back and I'll show you.
Is it the original Railway Children's BBC series, also filmed on the Keithley Worth Valley?
I have actually seen that. It's actually really good. But no, it's not Railway Children, but it's a bit of old classic comedy, really.
Oh, I think I know what this is.
Yeah, but this is I actually managed to buy. I bought this the other year, and because I really wanted to read the book adaptation, the book version of it. So
does the show have? Well, did it star Peter Sallis?
Oh, it might have.
Right. Okay.
It might have. I don't know. But yeah.
Wallace and Gromit. Sorry. Ruined it for you.
You need to watch the 70s one, Two-Faced Tart.
Yeah.
It's good. The Bluebell one's...
The Bluebell one has one good line in it. That's it.
I enjoyed it when we watched it, but it's not a patch on the 70s one, I don't think.
No, we did spoil ourselves there, didn't we?
It does have Ramsey Nesbitt as Mr. Perks.
Yes. And I really like Gregor Fisher.
Plus, they also have in the Bluebell version, they actually have the station master character, whereas in the original, in the '70s one, he's actually written off screen, saying like, oh, he's way off to get his hair cut, or he slipped and broken his arm, and he has to go to hospital.
I think Perks works much better as a composite character, though. I think that it's such a shame that Gregor Fisher doesn't have as much to do, because he is a very funny
Is
actor.
that the original book? The original film merges the station master and the Porter into one.
The film takes a lot more liberties, I think, from what I remember, whereas the TV version is very faithful to its detriment.
Plus, I actually do remember the opening of it there when Peter gets the roundhouse. Is it a roundhouse Bertie? I think he gets. Yeah, for his model engine. I don't know what they used for the '70s one, but yeah, the engine in the '70s one looks quite good. But
I feel like the '70s prop is always going to look better in the fact that it's not a mass-produced model,
and it all explodes.
I actually thought it was a Bassett Luke, but I don't know.
I tell you what, I did always hate as a kid in a household. Well, obviously now I have a border collie. Mike, you have a border collie. I grew up with a border collie, and it's when it goes bang, comes out, and she just goes, and that's the last we saw of Paw Paw.
See, Luke has this annoying thing when he watches a film that he hasn't seen in ages or seen before. And he goes, "Oh, yeah, and they never saw the dog again, and we never saw the dog again." No.
Yeah.
It's about midnight.
When I watched it, I was like, "Go out and find it." Just dog's gone.
It's all right. We can just buy another one.
Yeah, they were wealthy enough, weren't they? Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, I was going to show you this here, Tom. Have you got this book? A novel adaptation of Narcissus and Wine.
I haven't, no.
It's really good. This is actually really good. This is
what I retweeted of the old Summer White where they're on the footplate of an engine. I retweeted it this week. It's hilarious.
Yeah, that was actually they are on the rail with the same railway as the Railway Children. Yeah, it's funny when they're coming back the backwards and the volunteers are chasing after him. And you just see Compo waving at them, and he's like, "Lovely crowd, nice of them to wave under the circumstances."
I like it where Compo starts firing.
I love the bit. I actually love the bit when they actually do send it away the first time round. Compo's just on the footplate, like, "Where's he going? Where's he going? Oh, he'll get the hang of it. He'll bring it back. He'll never get the hang of it. He hasn't done finishing for his TV yet. Well, that's the last time we see him in One Piece. Oh my God, he owes me money. I don't care about the money. You do care about the money. Yes, I do care about the money. What kind of world do we live in? Nobody cares about money." And then they just look over and you see Compo on the other side of the track just watching him with his hand in his pockets as the train goes along. He's like, "What are you doing over there? I jumped you, Dozy Baggy. You didn't think I was going to stay on there? Well, who's driving? Nobody." Oh my God.
It's the 57XX, isn't it? It's the Pania that they're on.
Yeah, but it was in it's Crimson Livery, I think it was, or some
London Transport.
Yeah.
But but this novel thing, it's actually the novel adaptation of Getting Sam Home, the special, one of the specials that has Foggy in it. But this one actually, instead of Foggy, it's actually Cyril Blamar as the main character. Well, as one of the main characters there. So
I'm going to head off because I'm trying to sort my sleep schedule.
Yeah, I need to get myself.
Tom, considering this was a test, it's 2 hours 13 minutes dead.
Wow!
Come on, we can outrun the war games for running time. Come on, we can do it.
No, I was only just going to say just before Luke goes, I did was it last week? I enjoyed that the TR got in with the whole tweet along to Tipfield Thunderbolt.
Yeah,
I didn't know it was happening, and I was tweeting along anyway. Luke called me and said, "Why are you using the wrong hashtag?" What do you mean using the wrong hashtag? Do you want me to change it? Do you not approve? No. I mean, they're clean watching it. I'm like, okay, well, that's nice. I didn't know that.
What was Stuart doing wrong?
No, I didn't realise. I thought Stuart had seen the telecleanse thing and was tweeting along with that. And I was like, "Oh, no one's going to see your things. You used the wrong hashtag."
My hashtag was better. There we go.
Somebody did put a comment on my Twitter where I was like, I'm doing a few clips, and I was like, hashtag Tipfield tweet along. And someone did put a reply underneath and went, "What film's this?"
Did you tell them it was the Maggie?
I said it was Dr. No.
You should have
Right.
said it was the Centurion's train robbery.
Yeah. With Frankie Howard.
I still laugh at that bit of the poor porter. He's just like looking outside and he sees all these trains flying by. He's like, and he just rings up the guy and says, like, you promised me 2 services here, but 20 trains running backwards and sideways there. It's not good enough here. I'm packing the job in. He's just like, just leaves.
That's where they've done, can I say that was where they've done the best or worst trying to mock up an engine, where they get an austerity and put side tanks on the side of it and make it look like a J50, but it still has its saddle tank. It's the most.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of funny.
Right.
Be gone, Luke.
Right, I better head off as
well.
well.
He's gone now, so let's talk.
Well, I'll stay for another 5 minutes here, but I really have to get going because
I need to, because I've got a it's an inset day technically, so I've got a Zoom meeting at 10 o'clock.
Don't worry, I'll handle the stream.
Plus, I've got a stream to do tomorrow night as well, so I have to get ready for that. So
tonight is ladies' night on Awdry Corner. So phone in.
Minus the ladies.
Minus the ladies, yeah.
It's just
It might be green, but it's not for glory.
Now, I might show you more of the farmer's tan. That was bad.
Well, at least I know this software sort of works, then at least.
Oh yeah, because I've used it.
I'm going to sound like a real oldie now. Is that top number there 15? Is that how many people are watching?
Could
Yes. Yes, there are 15 people watching now.
I'm actually surprised there still is 15.
Well, I mean, at least 15 accounts.
He might have just left it and gone to bed and just left the laptop open.
That could be true, because I mean, every time when I'm doing Models Corner, I actually look to see who's watching. I think to myself, my God, I can't believe these people are still here. They're still watching us.
That's good.
So
I'm got too many ideas for projects, but trouble is I can't order my baseboards at the moment because the guy doing it obviously can't.
Stuart, tell him. Thomas.
Oh yeah, do Thomas the Train.
What?
Well, you've got that tank engine that you need to finish off.
Excuse me, his real name is Thomas the Tank Engine. It says on the back.
Sorry, Thomas the Train is the name of the show, not the character. I always get it mixed up.
I often got it referred to as Thomas the Tank. Now he's totally different.
T-34.
Thomas the Tank is the nickname for the army's weapon. There's actually a cartoon.
Thomas the Tank worked with Boschbuster.
There's actually a cartoon I've seen somewhere online, a web cartoon called Thomas the Tank. It is actually like an actual tank with Thomas's face on it.
I've seen that.
The Sodal Liberation Army.
I will get Thomas done. I've just got to be in the right frame of mind, and I'm just in a Scarlowy mode. Yeah.
One model I would like to try and make maybe someday is the Neen Valley Thomas. I would like to have a go because I've seen somebody model it and it's actually really well made.
Is it a Hudswell Clark?
Yeah.
Or is it a I thought it was
it's Hudswell Clark. Yeah. Because I just think it's quite good. But that'll probably be that might actually be one of my guest engines probably on Farquhar, just the Neen Valley Thomas.
I think I have a thing. I like it in a way because it's before TV series,
yeah. Right, here's something I actually do remember. I know you talked about Tony Wright with his issues with Thomas and that there, but did you ever hear about the story about this other train book series, Sammy the Shunter?
Oh, we were talking about that earlier, weren't we, Tom?
We were.
Right. Did you hear about this story where there actually is a model railway? There was a model railway club, and somebody made a model of Sammy. I think it's an O-gauge one.
Yes, I got an article from the Gauge Guild Gazette on that.
And like every time the Sammy engine would come along and would play tricks on the operator. Like he would go when the operator's like trying to arrange a passenger or goods train and so forth. The Sammy engine will come out and ruin his shunting for him. Like he moves the trucks that he wants to another siding. There's actually one scene where like I think it was that the operator had like one of those like Punch and Judy slapsticks or something where he would like go if the engine comes on, he would just go. So I spotted.
I had a few of the books.
When they
It's
came out,
all-
of course.
So yeah. Shut up. Yeah, I had a few of them, and what's interesting is this is something that's mentioned on the Bookmark documentary about Awdry, is the fact that how colourful the Railway series was. Because the Sammy the Hunter books look of that 1950s grey. It's like the only colours are grey and blue and red, I think, in like a lot of the books.
Yes, I remember. Yeah.
And also, I think I did check this. The Sammy the Shunter books came a few years after the Railway series. And guess what? They're the
50s,
same shape.
But one interesting conversation, I say interesting conversation, as interesting as a conversation about Sammy the Shunter can be, I'd had with some people at the old Model Railway Club, was that they didn't grow up with the Railway series. A lot of these older people, they grew up with Sammy the Shunter because it was Ian Allen, so you'd see it at all the railways and museums. Whereas, I grew up with the books and the show. My dad grew up with the books. So I just sort of find it odd. I mean, obviously where I am is Scotland, so maybe the Railway series didn't make it that far up north, or wasn't as successful anyway. I don't know.
Yeah, because I'm always made because I often do remember there was a model railway exhibit. I actually went down. Went down south one year for my holidays with my family. We went to a place called Killarney, and they had this wonderful visitor center, but it had a model shop there. But at the back of the model shop, the visitors can walk in, and they had the big massive layout that covered this giant barn conversion. And they had Thomas, a little Hornby model of Thomas going backwards and forwards around this wonderful Hornby model railway set. And they also had the original, they even had the old 90s Thomas Hornby posters and so forth on the wall and so forth. And I actually do remember, I love that layout so much, and I got on really well with the guys who used to operate there. And I think it was like maybe 2 or 3 years afterwards, I thought, my parents says, "Oh, we're going back down to Killarney again for a couple of days." And I'm like, "Yes, I get to see this place again. I want to see these lads." So we try and find the place where the railway was, and it was always shut. I thought, "Oh, it's shut. When are they going to open there?" So when we went past the town again, I saw the doors were open. I thought, "Yes, it's open. It's open. Quick, can we go and see?" And they're like, "Okay, we'll go and see where it is." I raced up to it there, and my God, it was like watching a Christmas episode of EastEnders. It always starts off lovely and jolly out there, and then boom. There's always something has to ruin
Great analogy.
everything.
It was like a Christmas episode of EastEnders.
And you find out the Christmas pudding's made out of Dirty Den's
Enzo.
But anyway, it looked basically the whole place was in ruin. Like basically, it looked as if like a bomb had hit. And I don't want to say anything about land bombs and all that, but it actually did look like something like something that happened in World War II. The whole place, the roof had caved in and so forth. And I was like, "Where's the train? Where's the model railways? Where's the trains not there?" And the girl who was operating the tourist shop next by, she was like, "Oh, are you looking for the model railway group?" And I was like, "Yeah, I was here some years back here. I wanted to see where they were." "Oh, they've gone now. Why? Why'd they close down?" "Nobody takes interest in the model trains anymore." I'm like, "Oh my God, that's the reason why I came back down here to see these." So and she was like, "Yeah, sorry. Do you want a brochure? Do you want a glance?" Oh, what was it?
Sad.
There's actually something very funny. That just reminded me now because recently I'm posting tweets on Twitter of Postman Pat related, and my mate Chris has shared this one link of there's an episode of EastEnders where I think it's this character Arthur who's going through like a serious depression or some mood during Christmas, and you just see him sitting in front of the TV watching Postman Pat. And his wife gives him like a cup of tea, sits around and cheer him up, and he spills it. And the tea goes on his groin, but he doesn't react to it. And she's like, "Oh my God, you're all right there." And she just breaks down in tears because his mood's all changing. And then it just cuts to your man's sad face. And next minute you hear Ken Barron's TV saying, "Oh, it looks as if it's nice to see someone actually enjoying the rain." He just cuts to his sad face. I'm like, what a way to, and then it just ends the end credits. I'm like, oh, that's the funniest way to end an EastEnders episode. Just have like him literally getting his groin scolded by a rain of hot tea, and you just hear Ken Barry saying, "Well, at least it's nice to see someone enjoying it."
What a way to go! That's how I want to go.
Oh dear.
I'm just going to. We have a comment about local heritage railways. Obviously, it feels that few of us are involved. I was going to say, Stuart, what's going on? Oh, sorry, go on, Mike.
I was going to say, as far as I know, there's only two that I know of. I have two friends. I actually have two friends of mine that actually work on them. One of them, Chris Eden Green knows. In fact, Chris Eden Green actually did work there or volunteer there for a while. I'm trying to remember which one it was. Was it Strad Valley?
Strad Valley?
Yeah, Strad Valley. Yeah, because some of the guys actually came up to the cultural model, the last cultural model railway show because they wanted to see me to say hi. Because they were good friends with my other friend who happens to be called Chris, and they were good friends with him, so he brought them up to see me. So
I was going to say, I think all heritage railways are in a very, very similar position, and I actually feel, Ben and I have involvement with East Lancs, but you also with Ribble. Stuart, you have some association with Bowness and that, and the trouble is, all these appeals that are coming out, but all of them are doing it, which of course they are. I'm not having a go at that, but that is a problem because,
But the problem is that they all need the money.
Absolutely.
It's sort of horrifying because of, I mean, you look at Llangollen, which is in real dire straits at the moment, and you just sort of wonder, once all this is over, will we have as many railways as we started off with?
I'm being optimistic. I'm saying we will, but I do think there'll be a lot of railways who won't be running much in the way of projects. We might get the ones they're currently doing done, and then they'll have to just consolidate. I think it'll be a while before anything else gets done. A lot of them. I think Ribble are quite unique in the fact that they're still running oil tankers during the week, and so there's still some revenue stream there. So it's not so bad.
I think it is a. I suppose the only, it's not good, but the slight positive is the fact that it costs money to run steam locos. At least that if they're not running,
You'll save a bit of cash.
Yeah, it's the same as diesel, right? You're not using the diesel fuel, so it's just.
But the thing that gets me is that winter and spring, a lot of the time that is used by railways, in the run up to Easter for maintenance.
Yeah.
And when I last went to Bowness, they'd been working on the footbridge at the station, which had been down for ages, and now they've had to stop work pretty much completely. I think there's only a few people allowed on the site because of all this horrible stuff going on at the moment.
Yeah, Ribble's the same shit. There's not the only people down there. I think there's three staff members, and they're the only ones who are allowed on site.
I mean, there's a comment from Two-Faced Tart Productions about, I wonder if Heritage Railways could have stayed open for essential trips only, like people needing to get from one place to another. But I would have said that would have been an even worse scenario because then they would have to run with hardly any passengers. So they'd probably be losing even more money.
I think most railways don't actually, a lot of railways don't actually have trains that run essential services, not services that can be replaced by buses anyway. And it takes so many staff really to even run one train. You're putting all those other people at risk as well. Even if it's diesel, you're still going to need a guard. You're going to need a driver. You're going to need all sorts. For health and safety and for convenience.
Mm. And I think like I say, even if you were running, but if say you've got 5 people on a 6-coach train, the cost, you're never going to cover your cost of the locomotives.
That's why pacers, every railway should have a pacer for future COVID 20, COVID
You-
21, COVID 22.
I thought you had taste, Ben.
Sorry, I'll hold my hand up. I love paces.
I mean, they work.
Well, Ben didn't know this, but here we are, ladies and gentlemen. I've got him one. Come on, bring it in.
Come and have a look at what you could have won.
Bullseye there.
Let's see what you could have won here. Bringing that lights is always a speedboat. Dun, dun.
Yeah, take it back, lad. Take it back.
Just bring it back.
Tony G, capital D. You won.
What did you ever hear about it? Did you ever look at the video where he talks about the two fellas from Ireland?
Yes, I have seen one. Yeah. What?
He wins the guy with his car. Why can the Iron not throw any darts?
He said like we had to bring them back on because they were going to take. We're going to take the money. Oh, well, we're going to have these guys back on. And then they've been drinking. And they came on and then they went, no, you've only got like 10 quid. No, we're keeping it. And then we've got no price to give away. That was it.
No. Look, we'll give you this money, okay? But you're going to gamble it for that there. Broom, broom. Behind the curtain. Broom, broom. It's a lovely prize. Broom, broom.
You know,
is that the same one where he was on about the holiday prize, and it was a guy in a wheelchair, and there was a guy in a wheelchair, and the prize was like something to do with water skiing or whatever, and they swapped the prizes.
It was
and it was a case of, and they actually won the prize, and it ended up being a skiing holiday.
I also love that one. Sorry, I also love that one bit where he says, like, you know, like they always love that bit when they turn around, they ask their family members for, you know, for some advice and some encouragement. You know, encouragement like take the fucking money.
Did you know that Jim Bowen lived in a former railway station?
Really?
I believe so. For some reason, it's somewhere Carnforth way. Time to Google.
He lived in Steamtown.
Right, Lucas is saying, how late is it in England? It's about 10 minutes past 1, and I need to go to bed right now. So, guys, it's been lovely seeing you guys.
Before you go, let me get Jim Bowen, Railway Station House. I'll tell you which one it is.
You'll never be allowed to leave, Mike. Run whilst you can.
It's Arcombe.
Arcombe. It's on the Wennington branch.
I was in the right area. Yeah, that was his house.
Carnforth over to Clapham Junction, Settle, Hellerfield.
I'll tell you what, I can just quickly do a screen share. I'll let you go. Hold on. Quick as I can. Chrome tabs. Jim Bowen.
Quick before I fall asleep. Oh, wow.
He didn't do too bad for himself. Did it come with a track?
Your own personal train set, but don't touch it. Yeah.
Now that's what I call a garden railway. So, right, guys, I'm going to head off now here because I have to get ready for tomorrow night's stream. So,
of course, yes. Yeah, let's just plug it now. Modeller's Corner.
Modeller's Corner, 7 o'clock tomorrow night, my channel. I don't know who's going to be on it. Well, I might know who's on it. But you guys
we're not sure who's on it, but yeah, it'll be on tomorrow.
Tune in and find out.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, by the way, I know folks asked me earlier on here, what do I think of the Royal Engine Railway Series book? Lovely. It's nice.
It is nice.
It is a nice cover, I must, yeah.
It is actually really good. I'm actually quite surprised. I'm surprised they actually went with that route. I was like, I have no idea they were doing that.
What is it for, though? I've only seen the cover. No one's actually like.
Look at that! You couldn't possibly say anything.
Oh, what? Does no one know? Is it? Okay.
Anyway, gotta get going now, guys. Take care, guys, and see you tomorrow night.
Yeah.
See you, Mike.
Right.
You're still there. Oh.
No. Those guys talk forever. Such a bunch of... Oh shit, it's still on.
We got your number.
Okay, cheers.
See ya.
See ya.
And then it actually does keep it.
You know, I
running
was going to say what a lovely man, but well, his true colours showed up there, didn't they?
It did really, didn't it? And then there were 3. I need to go to bed soon, and you've got work in the morning, Mr. BG.
I have, yeah. I'll be up at
Nothing that the dead Victorian child can't handle.
You're in that. Yeah, somebody did keep putting in the chat was just like, "There's something behind you. What's behind you?" And then somebody
Right.
put,
If they're still here, that's it. I haven't been bored and disappeared. I will let you into a secret. I've worked out what it is behind me. It's because of the light reflecting off the conservatory door. What you can see where my thumb is my fridge.
next week, just put like a Halloween, like what's it, Jason thingy, Matt, just have it there. Just hang it up.
Yeah, we'll do. I'll
I
think
think
so.
that's a good idea. And then just be like, no, there's nothing there.
No, I can't see it. Not there.
And the same guy was there going, Mike, your chair just moved. See,
Yeah,
Actually,
then
Tom,
we can
just before I
have like
disappear,
a-
'cause I'm going to disappear. How do you share screen?
Just have a look in the chat.
Now, I wonder if Ethan is in fact referring to Ben's voice or his title. Do your best impression of a DJ, Ben. Go on, encourage Uncle Dickhead with his
When we
cream
set this
slip-ons
up
to go up and
tonight,
have a dance.
When we set this up tonight, Ben, we never thought it was going to go down this route.
No,
The food's ready, by the way.
Thank you, your hot pots. You've never heard the song. Oh.
So what model will you guys never do? The one where you're like, yeah, no, no, I'm not going to say anything.
Because you're going to do all of them.
No. I was just going to say anything that's non-Awdry, Thomas wise.
I don't think I'd do anything past the first 4. He says, knowing full well that in a year's time I'll have all of them. Emily and Samson and Fergus and Bill.
Murdoch.
Not Ben, just Bill.
There's a comment here from Tidmouth Yard. Hey, Tom, can Mighty Mac please live at the shed at Scarlowy Station on your layout, please? To quote the great Lord Awdry, no.
But also to quote the great Lord Awdry.
I think Mighty Mac was the greatest creation from the television series. This is also doubling up as my Neville Chamberlain impression. I'm speaking to you from the cabinet room at 10 Downing Street.
See, it works quite well, that. I'm a man of very few voices, all of them the same.
Oh, very good. Awkward
This
side.
is my favourite bit.
What, the awkwardness? You love a bit of awkwardness?
Yeah, the bit where we go, oh, what one now?
Talk now. I think we'll do the quote from. Hold on, Ben. I think we'll do the quote from iOS page 46, chapter 8. They relayed this line in 1820 with Fishbelly edge rail and extended it up the Benglass Valley to the mine. Amen.
Praise be unto him.
Speaking of books, though, this is a very rare book. It's not even mine.
The British Railway series. Oh.
It's Ben's. Can't get this. You can't get it for love nor money. Ben kindly has let me borrow it. That was before he knew we were going into lockdown.
Sorry, can you just put it close to the camera so everyone can actually feel it being rubbed in their face? Thank you.
Just lift it up so they can read volume 1 on there as well. Yeah, there we are. That's better.
Yeah, it's not a knockoff. It's an original.
And it's time.
Counterfeit. So do we end with like a song? Do we do like the Two Ronnies or
what?
It's goodbye
Good
from
night
him.
for me and good night for him. Good night.
Yeah.
Well, bring me sunshine.
2 Ronnies, Tom. Not
I know. I prefer more. I know.
God save our gracious Queen. Those are the only lyrics I know. I know more of the Irish national anthem than I do of the British.
I say that is a lovely photo. Two photos of them both at exactly the same spot.
Oh yeah! Wow, fascinating.
You like a bit of early TR.
Yeah, I do. I like a bit of current TR as well, actually.
Is that like a current tea kick?
Not a tea cake in years. Fun fact: you can put that on my wiki page for Awdry Corner Wiki.
Here's a good one. Taliesin runs round at Abergynolwyn, steam leaking from the corroded steam chest. Jeez. Look at the state of... Almost looks like the front springs are gone. It looks like it's like...
That's probably just the dodgy track.
That's the dodgy track, yeah. They didn't have curves on the TR, did they? We discovered that from some pictures. It just... Everything's at an angle.
Oh, Mr. the Tidmouth Yard. My favourite Edward Thomas condition is as Stanhope on the West Lancashire Railway. The West Lancashire Light Railway, should I say.
Did you say you've... Am I thinking... Is this the other Kerr Stewart?
Yes.
You fired it, didn't you say, Ben? Have I imagined that?
Stanhope. I've fired and driven it.
That actually... in its working life, helped build the docks just across the river from me. I was using its construction, Rosyth Docks, which was a big naval base during the World War II.
Then did it go on to the quarry afterwards, then, Stuart? Must have done. Because it was pulled out of, I think, Penryn.
Yeah.
Favourite Edward Thomas condition. I like some of the early TR when it was in that, like just giving a coat of paint and sort of.
Do you like the Giesel?
It's funny. I liked it from a railway series perspective because it looks like Peter Sam in the books, but it's an ugly thing. I actually said, I said it looks like Peter Sam. Oh, sorry, Edward Thomas has got a Mohican.
Last of the Mohicans.
Yeah, but it's from what I can gather, it wasn't great at all. I've always wondered if Awdry had continued into the 70s, would Peter Sam have reverted like Edward Thomas did? Because from what I've read, John Bates said that when you were lighting up in the morning, smoke could go anywhere but up the Giesel chimney.
I think you'll find actually it was replaced by a double kill chap blast pipe in 1973.
I've just realised that sounds like it could be a carry-on film. Carrying up the Giesel with Kenneth Williams.
With Kenneth, just Kenneth.
And Sid James.
Pick your Kenneth.
I love the fact that Sid James is in Titfield Thunderbolt before he was like sort of famous.
But he still looks really old.
He does. And you know what? I actually googled how old he was there. He was about the same age as me. Don't comment.
60.
Hey. But it's like he was about 35, but he looks like he's got an old man face.
Oh, it is a good question.
I know.
We're not ending this stream anytime soon.
Where would you think the Reverend Awdry might have gone for his RWS 27? I so wish he'd done that. We can time travel just to persuade him.
I'd had a discussion with some friends about this, but I've forgotten everything that was said. So I would hope that we'd see more of the past, because I think there was a sort of a trend towards the end, like very old engines, Duke the Lost engine, and according to Tom and Luke, tramway engines, in which stories were set, much further in the past, because obviously in the 1970s, you're not going to see a lot of steam engines about, not unless you're in Northern Ireland by a motorway. Yeah,
Ben, you hypothesised a little bit on this, didn't you? Say that you wondered if the end of Steam was one of the reasons why you stopped the series.
Yeah, I mean,
makes sense.
Yeah, it's just they'd have had lots of info over the years and whatever. Maybe I think he just used the best of what he'd been given or what he'd read for his stories. Because as he says in his autobiography, the barrel was scraped well and truly with tramway engines. he just couldn't write anymore. He says that, and then he retired anyway from full-time vicar reverend. But yeah, he just couldn't go on, and perhaps the end of Sting was something to do with it.
He'd wanted to stop for years, in fairness, and Eric Marriott kept persuading him on to write more.
Eric Marriott, I think at that time hadn't he retired not long before that as well?
No, he hadn't left. He'd gone somewhere else, and obviously, I think without the pressure of Eric Marriott, Wilbur could sort of go, I'm not going to do any more.
Yeah, I like Stuart's idea that he might have gone back and maybe got as early as a coffee pot.
I wonder if that was going to be his long-term solution to avoiding the final end of Steam. Because I think there's another thing that really puts me off the Chris Awdry stuff is that as much as he can try to pretend that it's set in the 60s, as the illustrations do, there's still a HST that shows up. I don't really like the idea of the island being timeless because of it just doesn't seem right.
And it wasn't timeless, was it? If you look at if you look at the Reverend Awdry's book, you feel the progression from the 50s, 60s. Oliver the Western Engine feels like when it's set.
Yeah. And I think I really like the early books. I've gained a greater appreciation of them, over the past year or so, because they do, they do capture that railway nostalgia for the, Edwardian and Victorian steam. There is a wonderful simplicity to life in those books, whether the biggest problem is an elephant or, a backing signal. I just think it's really, really nice. And then when you get into, I think probably actually when Kenny takes over, you do get a bit more into, actually this feels a bit more contemporary. It does feel a bit like it is set in the 50s. That there is a,
I think that's why I Eight Famous Engines was a favourite of mine, because I liked the illustrations, because it felt, I'm not saying it felt modern to someone growing up in the 90s, but it was like, oh, the coaches of Blood and Custard. I've seen that in photos, and it's like they felt more realistic in the look. That shot of Gordon going through, which is technically Barra, where he won't stop. I love the fact, I'm just looking back at the illustrations, he's got steam coming out of his injector. Off the overflow pipe and stuff like that. And I love the look on his face as well. It's when all the workmen are there going, stop, and he's just got his face of, I'm not stopping.
But like how the stories sort of mature, the illustrations do with it, where, to the point you get these, I think some of the best illustrations are in the last book. A very particular one I'm thinking about is Percy in the dark in Ghost Train, with all the dead trees. I think it's beautiful.
Oh,
yeah, the nighttime. See, one of the favorite illustrations I like is Kenny's Hello Twins, the very first one, where it's just the station scene. You see part of James, the train, crowd of passengers coming. There's a guy there, and he's lighting a cigarette.
Guy lighting up. I love it. It's so 1950, 60. It's so of its time, and it's one of the ones that I scanned, and I love it. It's one of my favourite. It's one that I would happily have framed as a railway scene, and wait to see if anybody twigs and then goes, "Oh, it's from a Thomas book," because you can't see James's face.
No.
No, I think. And actually, Stuart, you said something. I think was it on last week's Awdry Corner? You said how, and I think this is where Christopher Awdry's books don't feel the same, is how funny Awdry's writing is.
Oh, I don't think people give him enough credit for how funny he was.
It's the humour I absolutely love. I mean, I've touched on a couple. My favourite, I know I've said it before, and I apologise now, is the first interaction between Sir Handel and Gordon.
Yes.
He's got little person syndrome as Sir Handel. Who are you? Gordon's like, I'm Gordon. Who are you? I love it. And the other one.
Oh yes, I see you do have bogey coaches.
Yes, we must have a chat. I can't stop. Must keep time,
Gordon, what? Who is this?
And then the other one is because it's so un-Awdry. It's a word I never thought he'd say, and it's Thomas to Percy. Your ugly fizz is enough to frighten anyone. Ugly fizz. And he does another one where it's like a sort of a slangy term. It's when James and Toby have their little altercation at the beginning of triple header. No, not triple header.
Double letter.
Dirty objects.
Double header. Sorry.
Oh.
And he says you, and it's spelled SEZ.
Oh. Yeah.
That's so sort of slangy that you wouldn't expect from Wilbert.
But yeah, I think
That's true. Twin Engines has no head coach. Yeah, he got pulled up by that. There's a it's James when James is waiting to have Douglas bank for him, and he doesn't have any head coach. There's a letter a parent wrote to Wilbert and was like, and even I'm like, oh, for goodness sake. The woman's like, oh, we very much thought, we're your new artist, but he didn't put lamps on. And Wilbert writes a reply back that I'm sure he's being sarcastic when he's like, I'm so sorry. I've just turned to the page in question. This is so unacceptable. And I'm sure Wilbert's taking the mick with that one.
Yeah.
Even Wilbert,
Well, I mean,
No,
you
wasn't
have
it?
to
There
have
was only one picture with lamp with a head code on. The rest of the book was devoid of lamps.
I think though that
might have been-
you must have needed a very good sense of humor to deal with all those letters. Especially all the people asking, like questions like,
why does James appear in the story with Henry in the tunnel when James was black and not even there?
Yeah, but you see, it was actually Eagle. Wait, no.
I've heard a lot about this eagle. I don't think much of him. I don't know anything about it. Apparently, it's just the red
as
engine.
far as I know, and if Ryan is listening, he can correct me. Eagle is a character from the extended railway series that worked the Norrenby branch. It wasn't. I think it might have been a tank engine, like an Ivet or something. But it was.
Right, well,
yeah, I'm sure. It wasn't.
So an
And
Ivet that works the Norrenby branch that becomes a 260 tender engine with a belt
time travels back.
Time travels and decides not to work the Norrenby branch that day and go to another completely different part of the island.
Let's be honest. We know why it's there. Awdry had written James the Red Engine, and I think it's his way of sort of plugging his first book.
I don't think he had much of a concept of timeline established then.
Now, I like the idea. We've discussed it. It could be a furnace engine, 060, something, or a Midland loco that's, on loan.
Or it could just be James.
Or it could be just James and he time travelled.
Yeah. Back to the Future. He's got to
But
save Henry's coaches.
But Stuart, he has a red dome in that illustration, so it can't be James.
Well, there's a thing called paint. You can paint over brass.
I only discovered recently, when Taliclin came back, that was just spray on. Cleaners hated it. They were so glad when it was overpainted. Yeah, it's like a spray on brass. Spray on brass.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I would just love to have seen Peter Edwards go back and re-illustrate everything before book 11, from 11.
Yeah.
I love the fact you see Scarlowy, Peter Sam, and Sir Handel in Duke the Lost Engine, and clearly Peter Edwards has looked at the illustration that's very similar in Four Little Engines, and he even sort of, if you look at Sir Handel's face, he's even done the same sort of nose that Dolby did, and Scarlowy's got a little bit of a turned up nose like he has, but it just looks beautiful. It's one of my favourite illustrations. And as Ben will be quick to point out, they do have red wheels.
Yeah.
I'm doing mine black with red conrods.
Yeah, well, I've been convinced to eventually do mine black as well, but I'm pinstriping mine.
You lot are tired and want sleep, don't you? In fairness, yeah. It's just easy to keep talking.
I could do this all night.
Yeah, I've noticed when you've sent message to me before, Stuart, I've looked, it was like 3 a.m.
Yeah, I did send you a message at like 2 a.m. going, I need information. Where is the local Sainsbury's?
And then it got said, sorry, wrong number.
Oh dear.
Did you ask for some info? Did I give it you?
Yeah, you gave me the info, don't worry.
Okay.
You told me where the drugs were kept. No, to be fair, I was building a set for a story I'm making. which you know about. Ben probably knows about.
Yeah.
But no one in the chat subscribed to me, so it's okay. So
In fairness,
surprise.
we were down to 8 viewers since you started talking, Stuart. We've shot to 11.
Yes. Oh, wait.
Oh no, it's gone down to 10, 9,
good.
8. So,
oh, here we go. Are there any Chris Awdry stories you guys like? No.
Is that a question in the chat?
I don't know, there might be. Yeah, Mr. The Timothy asked.
Tom Biddle, any thoughts on 98? Oh, don't get me started on 98462 and 87546. Oh. The fact that Awdry just did it as like a, not a robot letter, but it's just the fact that no numbers exist. 5 digits are.
I mean, Luke came up with a solution that helped you sleep at night, and that's that they were the works numbers.
Yes, I go with that. Yeah. Are there any Chris Awdry stories you guys like? In fairness,
I'm just flicking through the wiki at the moment.
And I didn't mind a couple from Gordon the High Speed, and really that was about it. I couldn't get into them. There's certain things that I think the problem is with volunteering, you get a bit of an appreciation of how they work and what they can and they can't do. It's just some of them just don't really work, not in the setting he's trying to put them. And it's just, I just couldn't get into them. I did when I was a kid, obviously enjoyed them because it was a cool view, but looking back now, it's like,
there are stories that I do have nostalgia for, because I never read the books, but I did have the Ted Robbins narrations. Used to get them from the library. God, do you remember when you could get cassettes from the library? Those are the days. And one that I remember was Toby Trucks and Trouble, which is a really bad title for a book, because you always have the word engine in there.
I told you that, didn't I? I was like, and you were like, "What's the story?" And that's the book title, Stuart. And you went, "Oh."
But I remember, for some reason, I think it was Toby's Seaside Holiday as a kid. That's the one I remember. But I revisited it and went, this is the most Chris Awdry story I've heard, I think, because of it. Nothing happens. But it is set like on the LNER, so maybe
I think you make a good point, though. And I think, I'll tell you which one I did like growing up. I really liked it. And sometimes I think it was for the illustration. Henry and the Express. I liked it because it featured Henry, and I liked it was some of Clive Spong's better work. I know that he draws the electric line going off at the wrong angle, but I liked the shots of when they're outside the sheds looking towards the station, and they've got really bad coal, and I did like that because we know it's a problem you can get, and they're all like really annoyed because the coal's rubbish. I like that one, but I do struggle because, from the real railway sense, why Sodor still running? Not the fact they've got steam engine, it's the fact they're running with 4-wheeled wagons and old stock that was going out in the 1960s. That's why I struggle with it, and that's why, from a modelling sense, I model it when Wilbert was doing his books, because it's when the real railway was still working like that, and I think I just struggle with the idea of the it's an unfitted goods train still. Here's one, and this is what I can't get my head around. Fish. I like the story, actually. Not a big fan of the first lot of Clive Spong illustrations in that book. But why is there no brake van?
On the Kipper?
On the Kipper.
Because it's fully fitted.
Yeah, but even up until early 80s, you still had guards in a van. And the thing is, the guard not in the van would be in the loco itself with the driver. But it's a steam engine, so you're not exactly going to ride in a steam engine. I wouldn't want the guard in a steam engine kicking his ass. Kicking his backside out of it.
So essentially, Reese tells the story, and instead of it being rams the fish, he rams the brake van and
kills the guard.
Kills the guard. And instead of called fish, it's called dead guard.
Flat as a kipper.
It's called shit.
Alex says, if it was real, of course, but in the context of Awdry sets it as a real railway. That's That is
Yeah,
what.
he was using
That is what this
real life.
about. This book is all about it. It's all about the fact it is a real railway. It's not.
And I think that's maybe why he didn't continue it, because of, again,
He knew where it was going. He knew where.
Well, he knew that in reality, all of the Thomas's Branchland stories would be about Daisy and Patrick the Pacer or something.
Ben's there. I've got an idea for a story. Yeah. Daisy and Patrick the Pacer. Oh, yeah, I like that. But yeah, I think maybe that was it. He knew he could keep steam engines going, but he knew running it like a sort of. Here's the thing: Clive Spong's illustrations, coaches.
Oh, Annie and Clarabelle, they look like gremlins, goblins. They'll eat children.
And they all look the same. All these coaches just look generic boxes.
But they're also all. Their faces are so grotesque. They're like the Ents from Lord of the Rings. Is that reference lost on people?
Sorry.
Yeah, I never watched the film, so I only read the book.
Tom Biddle makes a very good point there. Why would there have only been one tail lamp? Now it depends actually. If it's on a main line, I've got a feeling you only need the one lamp. It's when
No. You only need a one tail lamp when it's a fully fitted. So if you had a fully fitted train, great van, it was one lamp. If it was unfitted, you actually have three. You have two on either side of the van, white facing forward, red facing back, and you had a single red tail lamp. So technically, if anyone came behind that train, they should see three lamps.
So actually, for the context of the story, it works that there's one tail lamp.
Yeah.
Okay. Hooray!
Hooray
for Spong getting one thing. I mean, I used to like Spong.
Stuart 5.
Huh?
I said Christopher Awdry 1, Stuart 5.
I don't want to dislike the stuff because at the end of the day, a lot of people do enjoy his work. I don't want to belittle anyone for enjoying his stuff. It's just his stuff is, but a post-war shit. I'm going to say it. His stuff is shit. Not saying I could do better. God knows I couldn't do better. But it's still shit.
I'm sorry. I'm
I
sorry.
have to admit, I've got issues with it as well, Stuart, to be fair.
No, I try. I'd
Here's one, right? One photograph, picture that I actually used to like when I first got the book, and then it dawned on me quite quickly. It was illustrated wrong. It's the picture where you've got Mallard Thomas, Duchess of Hamilton. Duchess of Hamilton looked rather butch for me. Surely that should have been more feminine.
Well, all the Spong's faces are the same.
Yeah,
they are. That's
right, them Duchess of Hamilton there.
What, Thomas? You'll keep.
I was a bricklayer in a previous life.
Here's one for you. Do you think if Johnny Morris narrated Chris stories, they could have been better?
No.
Me and Ben struggle with Johnny Morris narration.
Hello, I'm Thomas. How are you?
I don't think they suit past, Percy the Small Engine or whatever.
Hello, I'm Percy. Hello.
No, but I think for the for bedtime stories or whatever, it is brilliant. I think if that's what you're going for, if you're going for maybe someone who's older than 4, then Willie Rushton's your man.
In fairness, Ben was playing the Johnny Morris ones to your eldest daughter, weren't you? And she wasn't impressed, was she?
Yeah,
She used to laugh. She was laughing at Piggity Pot though. Piggity sounded silly.
That's the thing. It's supposed to be very funny. When I first got back into the show, I thought, oh, too silly. Talking trains and now this.
And then we have Bertie. Hello there, Thomas.
Sure. Sure there. Hello, Thomas. I've come to deliver your passengers and also call you a big steaming shite.
I think my highlight actually was when Luke swore on last week's Audrey Corner.
Oh!
And Stuart just goes, do Percy's whistle when he whistles in Troublesome Engines.
You know, I think anyone who besmirches the good name of Johnny Morris should listen to that and then realise no one could have done it better.
Nobody does.
Goldfinger.
Oh dear. I think, gentlemen, I'm going to have to call it a night there because I need to go to bed. And my dog's looking at me wanting to go out, aren't you? Yes, I know. Yes, I am. Thank you for listening. It was only a test and we've been going 3 hours and 4 minutes.
Well, it's good night from me.
I think Saturday's Awdry Corner we do live and we just like take questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on. It's the Awdry Corner Bonanza Extravaganza.
Keep it live. We'll do it live and we'll keep it on topic with Railway Series. So yeah, I divulged a bit with the
Fergus squad rise up. Because I missed Awdry Corner 4.
Yeah. Got my message. You were like, oh, I forgot. It's all right.
I thought it was Friday. I did not realise it was Saturday, and I'm like, what we're doing?
We were there going, I don't think he's joining us. I think well, hang on. I was like, well, hang on till 1.
Could have phoned me.
1. Right, we're gonna go.
Well, I'd assumed that Tom had tried to communicate, and that you were coming on. You know, but no, Tom was quite happy for you to go and wash your car.
Yeah. I saw a picture and I was like, oh, he's washing his car.
What are you doing that for?
It was almost like, Benny, coming on Awdry Corner? No, I'm washing my car.
It's not like I've got much hair to wash, is it?
Yeah. Could have done it at the same time.
That explains a lot about you, Tom.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It's been a great stream, guys. Well, thank you. Nighty night. Please do more of these. If you want them, we will do them.
We'll just continue this one.
What time Saturday?
Would it? I reckon if it's a live stream, it's going to be better for evening. Would that be still all right?
For our North American viewers.
I couldn't say. How about 8 o'clock, 2000 hours? Oh no, maybe a bit later for you, Ben. Probably 8:30, 9.
8:30 will be fine. 8:30 will be fine.
What about you, Luke? Oh.
Luke, you're going to be there anyway. So it's been great. Thanks. I'm chuffed that it's gone off a bit off topic, and before Stuart thought I was actually blocking him from the call, I literally couldn't see that he was waiting to join.
No, I didn't think you were. I knew that you were being an old man about it, which is why I posted. I thought you'd started talking about me specifically because you saw that I'd arrived.
Oh,
no, I was like, here we go.
I was just generally talking about you.
No, but you were just being
positive. I think you just commented about your talk on tramways. I thought it was good. Yes, questions for Saturday, but obviously, Railway.
Send them to Railway Wonder on Twitter and no one else. Just annoy him.
Ben's like our secretary now. Look at this. Back on it. 20-30 hours GMT time. Night all.
Be there or be square.
And obviously, it will be Railways series related, not TV.
No, come on. Let's open it up. No Chris Awdry, though.
No, Chris Awdry outranks.
Again, Fergus squad. I expect to see you there.
Stuart won't be joining us on.
Yeah, but I still expect them to ask you questions about the cement works.
No, I don't know anything beyond Series 5.
Well, you know what? You need to educate yourself because Fergus is the greatest character since.
It was only the other month I realised he was actually a real engine.
Huh? Oh yeah, I mean, it's all very, very Railway series. Accurate.
I was basically like series attraction engine with wheels for rails. Yeah. That's my dog objecting. I know we won't talk TV series, lassie.
No, we will.
Shut up, Stuart. No, it'll be RWS. It's yeah. Right.
Have they gone yet?
Thank you very much, everyone. Yeah, I can't do the gag that Mike did because it won't work now.
No.
Right. 8 view. Oh yeah, people are dropping off now. We're down to 8 viewers.
Catch you all later.
Right.
Bye.
Cheerio.
Wash your hands.